Snow fell cold on a bitter night. John was gone for the morning light. They blame Karen, but it don't sit right. Too many secrets hid from sight. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town. Proctor's story shifts and sways. Cameras vanish, records fade. The Alberts toast while the doubts grow strong. The folks still fight, won't be long. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town. Proctor's story shifts and sways. Cameras vanish, records fade. The Alberts toast while the doubts grow strong. The folks still fight, won't be long. Oh, the badge runs deep, the law runs thin. They stack the deck, but truth won't bend. The judge looks away, the truth gets drowned. Ain't no justice in Canton Town.
Hello, and welcome back to what's hopefully going to be a way more interesting cross-examination than the direct.
Well, I'm just hoping that Alessi can do what he always does and make bullet points and stay on one subject, then move to another.
Yeah. Question. Action Reconstructionist is going to be the next one. And then who? Who? Are you an owl? No.
No, I mean, we assume that the accident reconstructionist is going to come next, but throughout this trial...
They stated that he would be testifying after Mr. Time Swap. So, action reconstructionist should be the next witness. They have that hired gun, the ME that they hired.
Oh yeah,
and they have that neurosurgeon. What? Because they're not going to call any more Alberts. They're not going to call any more cops.
No. And they don't want to call Trooper Proctor. And now the only one I would think they might call again, but I can't see why, would be Garino, because he's been coming in and out. But I think we're done with all the phone data.
No further recalls the last time he was in. No, they're not going to call her. I don't think so. They only hired the neurosurgeon. Well, so then we have all the medical personnel. We have all the cops. They're not going to call the cop who says the tail light is cracked. We have the phone data. We have the GPS data. We have Jen. They're not going to call the EMT who said, I didn't hear anything.
I mean, the only other person I think they would bring in, and I would think it would be on rebuttal, would be an expert and I haven't looked at all the filings, but an expert in police procedure and how this,
They're not allowed to
proceed.
bring one from for the defense, so no
Fair point.
reason to rebut it. The filing was that they are not allowed to bring in an expert in police procedures because everyone knows how to run a police investigation. But you can call in 25 people to talk about clocks. Yes, Sue, you should watch the show. We talked about it this morning. Sometimes it's good. Do you think poor Mr. Burgess has decreased in a few shades of red over lunch? I hope someone gave him some water. He was not good. I don't see that they get around not calling Proctor. Well, they will get around not calling Proctor because Proctor will be detrimental to their case. They would rather have him as a cross because then they can lead the ever-loving crap out of him.
Hey, Baker, do we have an over-under if, said witness is going to come back with really dark lipstick and his hair his tuft all puffed? I mean, because that's what happened with the last expert with Alessi.
Yeah.
Someone went to Maybelline in between.
Yeah, she was really dolling it up. No, I'm talking about the Commonwealth because Marissa was running into some scheduling conflicts while I will be in the States. But they did say that potentially they could end this week, but I'm just sitting here spitballing. Who are they going to... They're not going to call Brian Albert. They're not going to call Brian Higgins. They're not going to call Proctor. We have everything else. We need the crash reconstructionist and the brain surgeon to tell us that he died from his brain injuries. I would end on the brain surgeon because you can bring in all the gory pictures again. But that could potentially be tomorrow. Who else do we need? Who else? I saw Aiden put up a big list of people, but I just can't see them calling that many people. Hey, 80s.
No, and I think that if Brennan is reading the jury, this is a lot of dense technical, testimony. I wouldn't end on this. I would end on the neurosurgeon, like you said, but he has defied any amount of strategery this entire trial. So
that's true.
Now, that being said, I do think that it is very possible that Alessi continues his cross into the morning with this particular witness.
No, I don't think. I think he will be more. I think he will just be more scalpel-like. He will go in and just demolish him.
Well, as long as he's able to do it in a timeline, but this is one of those main witnesses that you really have to discredit. You have to go into everything he's done wrong, and that might take a while, especially if he is recalcitrant in, answering the damn question like every single one of their witnesses have been.
Yeah. Aiden believes that the people that the Commonwealth is likely to call, Christina Hanley, the MSP criminalist. I don't think so. Oh, yeah, Dr. Crosby. No, that was rebuttal. They was keeping him. He's the dog expert. Then we're going to get Velcher, and then we're going to Asik Wolf, who is the guy. Maybe Anthony Flamati. He was the other firefighter, has said, I did it. I can't see many people, many others they're going to call. I don't know. Yeah, call Yuri twice because he did such a great job.
Everyone have their pens and highlighters.
Back in session, you may be seated.
So, hopefully this will be as good as it was with Bukaki. Come on.
The battle between Just for Men.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Leslie.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Burgess.
Good afternoon.
You spell your first name Shannon with one N. Do I have that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You describe yourself as
I'm sorry, but it just reminds me of a girl named Sue, a boy named Sue. Shannon is not a boy's name.
Neither was Ashley until really recently in culture, and Lauren was a boy's name too.
He's a girl.
a digital forensic examiner, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You use the term forensics often in your analysis.
Yes, I do.
And would you agree that generally the accepted definition of forensics is something that relates to, that's used in, and is suitable for a court of law?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
And so when you're working in forensics, even in your office, you understand that eventually it's very likely that whatever work you're working on is going to end up or could end up in a court of law, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned in your direct examination the scientific method, right?
Correct.
And I was pleased to hear mention of the scientific method. And I just want to cover some principles with regard to the scientific method. But before I do, I just want to see how forensics envelopes in certain items. So forensics applies scientific methods and principles to legal matters, particularly in criminal investigations, right?
Correct.
It's a fair statement.
Yes.
Thank you. And forensics are used to help lawyers in their preparation, correct?
Yes, that'd be correct.
And it's used to help judges in courts of law.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's also used to help juries and jurors to understand the results of scientific tests, correct?
Correct.
So you know, and you have to presume that as you are performing your analysis, as I stated earlier, that this information is going to end up in a court of law.
Correct.
And then does that heighten sort of the analysis that you need to do and the sharpness and the accuracy, given that it's going to end up in that form?
It can, depending on context.
And is the primary goal of forensic science to uncover the truth and to provide objective evidence that can be presented in a court?
Yes, it is.
Would you generally agree that the work of forensic science, including the work that you do, is intended to be used in court because scientific evidence can be very powerful, and therefore the forensic science must be accurate?
Correct.
It must be methodical.
Correct.
There must be a method, right?
Right.
It must be detailed.
Yes.
And above all, it must be unbiased and truthful, correct?
That is correct.
And all of this, is it fair to say, distills down to reliability?
Correct.
And reliability is a desired characteristic of the forensic scientist.
Yes.
You want people to be able to rely upon your work.
Yes.
And credibility and honesty is part of reliability, and it's a fundamental component of that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You've stated that you hold your opinions to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty. You said that several times on direct, correct?
Correct.
And because the discipline of forensics involves the application of the scientific method, as you stated on direct, you therefore, of course, applied the scientific method throughout your analysis, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you agree with the following statement of the scientific method? And tell me whether, well, let me start with, you understand, you know, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST?
Yes, I am familiar. Yeah.
And would you agree with a definition of the scientific method as the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the recognition and definition of a problem, the collection of data through observation and experimentation, analysis of the data, the formulation, evaluation, and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis? I know there's a lot there, and if you'd like me to break any of it down, you let me know.
No, I find that generally acceptable. Yep.
And I wanted to emphasize the end, the evaluation and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis. You understand what I'm meaning by hypotheses?
Yes, I do.
The scientific method is used, among other reasons, is it not, to avoid certain biases in the science process, correct?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
So the method is trying to prevent a scientist, not cultural bias, but scientific bias, correct?
Correct.
Do you know what the American Academy of Forensic Scientists refer to as cognitive biases in science, generally?
No, I do not.
Have you heard of the term confirmation bias?
Yes, I have heard of that term.
Have you heard of the term anchor bias in the scientific method?
I have not heard that term.
Let's start with confirmation bias. Is a fair definition, and you said you're generally familiar with that, right?
Yes, correct.
So let's start with that. That's the practice of sort of selectively gathering and interpreting evidence to confirm the scientist's belief or a belief of another, and at the same time neglecting evidence that contradicts them. Is that a fair definition of confirmation bias?
Yes.
And an example of confirmation bias is not considering alternative hypotheses once an initial hypothesis has been selected, even though the data and other information might contradict the initial hypothesis. Fair statement?
Yes, that's a fair statement.
And confirmation bias, although sometimes it occurs, is intellectually and analytically antithetical to, it's opposing of the scientific method, correct?
Correct, yes.
And it's to be avoided.
Right.
Anchor bias is, and I know you said you didn't recall it, but let me see if this triggers a recollection. If not, fair enough.
Okay.
Anchor bias is when you prioritize information and data that support your initial impression of the evidence, even where the impressions are incorrect or it's unknown whether the impression is incorrect. You sort of anchor into that. Does that sound like a reasonable definition of anchor bias?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
So bias.
Alessi, I love you, but could you please stop touching the microphone with your paper?
Biases are to be avoided in the application of scientific matters and methods because they can lead to incorrect conclusions in science, right?
Right.
And even though they're to be avoided, you called this case a homicide even before you began your alleged scientific testing. Isn't that correct?
I don't recall. Where would I have called it a homicide?
Do you recall your January 30th, 2025 report that you prepared in this case?
Yes, I do.
Do you have it with you?
I do.
Can you turn to page 4, footnote 3, please?
Yes.
Yeah, get him with the bias. You were just looking for a result and you found it. Because you weren't looking at the facts, you were looking at confirmation.
Footnote, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It is page 4, footnote 3. And in page 4, footnote 3, it states, I'm sorry, sir, are you there?
Yes, I am sorry.
It says evidence review by the defense counsel Ray O'Keefe, MV homicide. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Now, you assumed in the very beginning, that Miss Reed had hit Mr. O'Keefe with her car before you began the scientific testing that you had discussed in your direct.
No, that would be incorrect.
But you did list homicide down in footnote 3, correct?
Yes, I did.
And so this report's drafted January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And the testing, I'll just give you a snapshot. Some of the testing you discussed with Mr. Brennan, that testing.
Thank you so very, very much, Brandon. And on Monday, we do chest because if you want a thick midget fidget while motorboating Val's Whiskey Biscuit, your breast better be effing swole. Brandon for Mother of the Year, Brandon 2025. Thank you so very, very much, Brandon. That takes care of the demonetization on my channel. But
That is great. And I hope your biscuits be swole. I don't know. I just said.
I hope your biscuit is not swollen.
I don't think I like that
occur
chat.
until after this
I like
trial started, correct? Some of the testing you described in direct?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, so that testing didn't even occur in the trial. Just assume the trial started at April 22nd. So the testing you described when you were talking about aligning clocks and GPS, that occurred after April 22nd, correct?
Correct. You did.
Now let's go on to another topic. Let's talk about professional credentials. You know what I mean by the term credentials?
Yes, I do.
Professional credentials are important in any profession, correct?
Correct.
And they're important in
Important.
your forensic examiner profession as well.
Correct.
Your forensic scientists and examiners are no different than any other professional that credentials are important.
Thank you, Jar, for being a member for 11 months. Jamie, come back. Jamie is back.
And
Hi,
your
Jar.
profession requires you to provide curriculum vitae, laying out your education, training, and background, correct?
Correct.
And it's imperative, is it not, that the information that is disseminated about your professional credentials are absolutely truthful, right?
Yes, they should be.
You say they should be. Let's continue on.
He sounded almost like that.
Should be.
You said it should
I was
be.
like, there should be, Mom.
I
That
mean,
was just
when
as
you
you
I think
did it.
so. I think so.
Look, the
Hey,
dog
you-
ate my curricula vitae. I don't know where it is.
With that topic.
Skill the boy?
Hey, little boy.
You understand what's meant by the
Scale.
term ethics, right? Generally.
Yes. Yes.
Well, let's hear his
And simple ethics mandate
Circumventing.
that one is truthful about their
Ooh.
professional credentials, correct?
Correct.
Hey,
And
Melody.
a fundamental credential is what type of college degree you hold, correct?
Correct.
People rely on those credentials, and the credentials are the foundation of your expert opinions and analyses, correct?
They can be. Yes.
They can be, and they often are, correct?
Yes, they can be depending on context.
But more
Well, you
often
wouldn't want
than
a
not,
doctor that didn't go to
they're
medical
important.
school,
Yeah.
would you?
Yes. Again, depending on context.
You know that not only your colleagues, but your clients, your firm clients, courts, and juries will rely on your CV and your credentials in order to make determinations about whether you're qualified to testify and your depth of your qualifications, correct?
Correct.
You provided the Commonwealth, the defense, and the court with your CV in this case, correct?
Correct.
Stay off the microphone.
If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I will
Yes.
get my first exhibits.
Yes.
Yeah, get us on the link in and the three
Yes.
different titles he's been using.
You're right, if I can have this marked as the next exhibit
For identification?
for identification at this point.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm going to have it off, we're going to be eventually offering it into evidence, so.
Okay.
They present it to the
So
witness.
let's mark it for identification first.
Yep, okay.
Exhibit TT for identification.
I don't know if he's worried. If everyone has been on the Twit, and we know that the Commonwealth is, they have a good answer for this, that, oh, well, it's a mistake.
That's it. It's
Yeah,
just a
that-
mistake,
yes,
of
thank you.
course.
Ms. Burgess,
Yes.
I am
Yeah,
presenting.
I
It's a
often
typo.
mistake DeVry with
TT
Harvard.
for identification.
I was,
think you just
thank you, Your
called
Honor.
them
I'm
Miss
learning not to
Burgess.
talk while I'm walking backwards so Madam Court Reporter can hear me. So I'm presenting you with what is Exhibit TT for identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And what is that document?
So this document appears to be my CV.
May I approach further?
Yes.
Thank you. And is that CV a document that you have prepared?
Yes, so that is a document that either I have prepared or the company after has prepared.
And is that a fair and accurate document?
It appears to be.
Your Honor, I offer that into evidence.
Any objections, Mr. Brennan?
No, thank you.
And if you could just, if Your Honor, if I have the witness hold that I have some
Hold on,
questions.
let's let it mark
Yes,
first.
Yep.
Exhibit 183.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Burgess, you have in front of you your CV that we just spoke about, and I'd ask you please to draw your attention to the education section where underneath in red it says BGS, and then, do I read it correctly? It says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama Birmingham, Alabama currently pursuing. Did I read that correctly?
You did read that correctly.
Thank you, sir.
Do what now?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
So he's
Thank you.
still going to school? Is that what that means?
It's not that his education and degrees, it's that he has misstated on several different places what his education level is and when he obtained said education.
Like this mark is the next for identification only at this point. Oh, excuse me, can I get back on you?
No, he should have
Let's
gone to
go.
Supercuts in that.
What does he
at
got
lunch.
going on exactly up there? Is it a comb over where he's like growing this part and trying to push it all to the middle? Is that
No,
what
he
he's
he
doing?
has a slight comb over, but he has that stranded tuft island.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
his
he had a
island,
peninsula and then it became an island
Yeah,
and now
but
it's
he's got a
But
comb
he has a
over
slight comb
on
over
this
behind it.
side.
Identification first.
I think he has a comb over on the other side as well.
Exhibit UU for
I think that's
identification.
why he looks like a V.
Mr. Burgess,
on top
it's
of
been
his
marked, the document is.
He's
exhibit
pushing
U
the other
for
side over the
identification.
other
Would you
way.
Please tell me if you
The
recognize
back
that.
seems to be coming
Yes,
up.
I do recognize that.
And sir, please describe briefly what that is.
I think he's just
Sure.
trying
So
to
it is a
salvage as
CV
much
as well.
up there as possible. He's like got
Oh,
this
so
on
here's
the-
another
Oh, it's
CV.
another CV.
At this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Brennan, any objection?
No, thank you.
Exhibit 184.
So that's another CV. Is it his
I
as
present
well?
back to the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would assume so.
Thank you.
Mr. Burgess, once you've had a fair opportunity to look at that, I have a question, and that question is simple. Is that your April 2025 CD?
Let me see. Yes, it appears to be.
Thank you. And when you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, when you can just pick your head up, sir, to let me know you're ready. I don't want to
Yes.
rush you, but then I have some questions.
Absolutely. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. So in those two exhibits, your two CVs in front of you, am I correct that the first one is November 2024, and the second one is April 2025.
Let me see. Yes, that appears to be correct.
And in both of those CVs, you indicate that you have not yet earned a bachelor's degree.
That is correct.
And you certainly have not earned a Bachelor of Science degree in any educational field, according to those two CVs, right?
Correct.
And in fact, as you sit here today, you do not possess any bachelor's degree.
Correct.
And
Remember when they hired these people and they were, they are so much smarter than the Arca guys. Well, at least on paper, this guy isn't.
the reason, as you state, is because that bachelor's degree is currently pending. That's the term you use.
So I use currently pursuing.
Currently pursuing, yes. So
But he's not in school
you
right
have
now.
a public profile that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's in the form of a biography page.
Search
Yes, I
a
believe so.
school.
And that biography page has your education listed.
Very possible. Yes.
May I approach your honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
And again, I, for one, doesn't care what degrees he has,
If I could
as
have
long
this
as he's
marked,
truthful
please,
about
and
them.
once Mr. Brennan reviews it.
And those of you asking, you didn't hear a goat. That was my child, although they do sound similar and both are children or kids.
Do you asleep in the
May I have
food
this
as well?
marked as next identification in order. Thank you.
BB Friday.
Yeah, I'm currently pursuing Emperor of the World.
Now, Mr. Bruce is giving you exhibit DB for identification.
Okay.
You recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And indeed, that is the bio page that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
That is what it appears to be. Yes.
Now, I would like you, sir, to turn to page 2 of that document.
Okay.
And I'd like to turn your focus to the bottom of education head. It states, am I correct, sir, BS, Mathematics, and Business Administration. Is that correct?
It does state that. Yes.
And
It's-
there
it's a-
is no qualification that it's currently pending. It states BS in Mathematics and Business Administration, correct?
That's what it states there. Yes.
And you do not have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, do you?
No, I do not.
Typo.
Look, they're manifesting on his bio.
And if you
they
click
say
on
it
the
loud enough, the
hyperlink
universe
for
will
your
grant
CV
it.
on that same website, do you know where that hyperlink takes you?
No, I do not.
To any member of the public reading this, including prosecutor, a defense attorney, a judge, or a jury, that represents that you received your Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, does it not?
That's sustained.
Remember, you
Now, if you-
allowed
Why?
You
gross cross-examination?
continue on
Uh-huh.
to your photograph. Are you familiar with Aperture's website that speaks about you and presents you generally?
Vaguely, yes.
Are you aware that Aperture has two hyperlinks, one that says CV and one says LinkedIn? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am now.
And LinkedIn is a professional networking platform designed for career and business professionals to connect, share content, find jobs, etc. Is that a fair description of LinkedIn?
Yes, it is.
And could we also conclude that it's a professional networking platform, especially
Breathing
for
a
private
little
sector
heavy, ain't he?
firms like Aperture, that's used to attract
Marissa
clients
found
or
that one.
potential clients?
Yes, correct.
And potential clients include, for example, the Commonwealth of the state of Massachusetts, correct?
Correct.
And indeed, the Commonwealth is no longer, if you will, an attracted client, but it's an actual client of Aperture and you, correct?
Correct.
And that's the status of the relationship here. Aperture is a client of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in this case, right?
Correct.
So is it fair to say that your CV, especially when it's published on a LinkedIn or published on a website, is something that is published to intend to have, especially if you're in the private sector, have clients view and retain your services? That's a hope and an expectation, correct?
Yes, that is part of it.
Now, when you look at that document, when you click on, if you were to be in your office, and let's see if you're familiar with this, you click on your LinkedIn on Aperture's page, that would ordinarily take you directly to your professional LinkedIn account, correct? Isn't that what the links are there for?
Yes, I would expect so.
Are you notified when someone electronically accesses your LinkedIn account?
Not accesses, no. Are you referring to viewing?
Yes, that's a better
sorry,
verb,
yeah.
viewing. Yes.
Yes.
So you're notified. Were you notified within the last 72 hours that someone from the defense accessed your publicly available or viewed your publicly available LinkedIn account?
No, I was not aware.
You just told us that you got.
Are you
notifications.
aware that within the last 72 hours, that hyperlink on Aperture's official website was disabled?
No, I was not aware.
Are you
Well, probably you don't have to come into work Monday.
Right. Aperture just
Are you
found
aware
out
of
too.
anything, sir?
Did you lie to Aperture about your degree? And that's why,
Aperture just found out he doesn't have a college degree too. They said, oh,
yeah,
that's a mistake.
Or they realize this is going to look terrible for our reputation.
well, I'm not saying that you can't beautify your CV, but
You might want to
better hope your company knows how much you beautified it, because
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of weird that they take. Maybe it's because they saw all the snooping going on, but that's not good.
aware that
probably it.
now if you try to go on that link that you can't, that it's disabled?
No, I'm not aware of that.
well, we still have it. We have the Wayback
Do you
Machine. Here you go.
know whether anyone from Aperture directed someone within Aperture to disable your LinkedIn account within the last 72 hours?
No, I'm not.
Have you spoken to anybody at Aperture about your LinkedIn account?
No, I have not.
I bet you will be tomorrow.
Your Honor, I'd like to move EV into evidence at this time, please.
I'd feel sorry if he wasn't trying to put an innocent woman to prison. I even think they reached out to the Commonwealth.
No objection.
Exhibit 185.
Thank you, chat, for hanging with us during this trial. You make it so fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Aperture was the company that reached out to the Commonwealth and said, we think we can help you. I think this guy was the guy who reached out to them. So if they get into this and they fudged the books and they found out he actually also fudged his circumvitata, Aperture is probably not going to be happy.
Look at the face he's giving Alessi right now.
Yeah, I think he had the fish over breakfast, over dinner, lunch, because
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty solid RBF.
Yeah, of course they do, because but he also stated he had a business degree on LinkedIn. Marissa found it yesterday. It just had a different date or year on it compared to his CVs.
Your Honor, could I have the next one marked for identification at this point.
Yes.
Leslie is over there trying not to tap dance. He's so happy.
Well, hope the jury gets it.
Yeah.
Why it's important.
May I present to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess, I presented to you.
No, his testimony won't be struck because Bev wouldn't allow them to voir dire him, so he could have been kicked out. It'll still be on the books, but it's Alessi's job now to kick his ass so thoroughly that the jury will remember the ass kicking more than the evidence.
What is marked as Exhibit WW for identification, I'd ask that you take a look at it, take a fair amount of time, and then if you could, sir, pick your head up so I could see that you're ready.
Sure.
I also say I
So I
have
don't have
patience
to-
with other people.
There you go. Please, sir, could you pick your head up so I don't have to stare at that nonsense anymore?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
but-
Again, when you're trying to the desperate comb over, just take it off.
I'm telling you, I think it's combed over on both sides.
It is. It's kind of like a.
It is. He's pushing it all.
You
in
recognize
from
that
every
document,
angle.
sir?
Yes, it appears to be a screenshot of my LinkedIn account.
Like if he had a full head of hair, he'd have a pompadour.
Your Honor,
You would.
I offered that into evidence.
I think they should put them, if they are allowed to put them up on the screen, so we can see. Kind
I
of like
just
on the Reddit,
noticed
they
that-
had 3 different posts next to each other.
I just noticed the little banner on the bottom.
Well, Brandon,
Can I see you at sidebar with these?
Bev,
Uh,
you said fulsome interrogation. Now you're like,
Yeah,
well, that
fulsome.
LinkedIn is a screenshot, and I don't know. We might need a half day to interrogate the metadata.
A unicorn horn.
it's called a dog's ass, but a balding one. No, this is a he has the little tuft, and then he it looks like he's doing the kind of like when I was a hip
Like a faux
young
hawk.
kid back in the
Ooh,
Yeah.
at the,
Baker
at-
Hawk. I say we go with it. Fridays.
I did the mullet spike, but
I
the
was
problem
gonna
is
say hawk out, but then I realized the only thing that rhymes with that is something that's a Brandon word. And this is a good Christian channel.
Hack to
LinkedIn has a feature that lets you say if you're pursuing a degree. This guy's just wrote that he has it. Yeah, that's again, it's such a dumb thing to do, but it's even worse if he lied to his company. One thing is, yeah, maybe he lied in court, whatever. But if he lied to his company, that could be a little bit of a problem. Oh, we
Could
have
be a
the widow
little
back in court
kerfuffle.
today.
Oh gosh. And
Is-
she's matching with John's mom. What is going on
is-
with?
Is this
Wait,
a
who's that?
McCabe relative?
Oh, it could be. It looks like the McCabe's, don't it?
Does-
Yeah, she
Yeah, it
has
does
the equine
very
features
McCabe-y.
of Jen.
Yeah.
Wait, what would Jen's maiden name be? Because they're not all McCabe's.
I used to know this.
For some reason I'm thinking something
Walsh.
really German.
No, it was what was it? Hill, Will, Bill, something. It came up with that where everyone
Weeks.
thought
Weeks. Sarah
Yeah,
got it.
because-
Weeks.
Weeks.
because people are saying, "Oh, she was related to the guy who worked for Wiley Bolger," but it's a different family.
Ah,
Who said coffee nut? You said Walsh. I said we both got the wrong Walsh name. That was awesome. It was Weeks though. I remember seeing her yearbook picture. She was voted most attractive, by the way.
did they all have glaucoma or were they all drinking?
It's
They
Massachusetts.
all must have
Stupid
been
question.
drunk.
They have
Let's
beer
not
goggles
deny.
when they go to school in first grade.
They must not have a lot of attractive people.
The residual drunkenness is just passed down to the next generation.
I haven't been watching much of this trial at all, but since when is Paul in the back of the row? In the back row, last
Last
last week.
Yeah.
Is that a new development? Yes, because of the evil eyes he was shooting at Karen Reed, he was removed and put back there. And we saw way too much of him and his balls in the first trial.
Yes.
Presenting to you what has been marked as Exhibit WW for identification. Is that a fair and accurate representation of your personal LinkedIn page? If you could take a moment to take a look at it.
Sure.
Mr. Lessing, I'm going to ask you to step back so all the jurors can see. the
Yes,
pictures,
Your Honor,
please.
thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
He is just the sweetest thing ever.
He is. He's so
swear.
chipper.
I think he's that chipper because right now he is getting
Yes,
ready
it
to.
does with a
I
error.
think he's a
on
kill him with
page
kindness
2,
kind of man.
regarding education.
Oh, there's
Right,
an
and we're
error.
gonna get to that.
Sure.
But this is you recognize this as a fair and accurate depiction of.
Excuse me, I am the fake mod for life. Stop giving away my title, Lesko. It's all I have except a bachelor's of science. Got one of those, unlike the Tuft. Well, he's pursuing one. And Valhalla is pursuing being the fake mod for life. Thank you,
Yeah,
Isaac.
I'm pursuing getting a six pack, but I like Mike and
your
Ike, so don't
personal
hold your breath.
LinkedIn page, with the exception of what you just mentioned, correct?
Correct.
Did you draft that document that's represented as Exhibit WW?
I have drafted that over time. Yes.
And when was the last time you viewed that document on your LinkedIn page?
I don't typically view the profile page, so it would have been. I could not tell you how long it's been.
Do you have any reason to
I
believe
see.
that Exhibit WW is not on your LinkedIn page online as we sit here today?
No, I don't.
Your Honor, move Exhibit WW into evidence.
No objection.
This is going splendidly for you, Wally. Or Brennan.
Exhibit 186.
Thank you.
Funny that he spotted the mistake in this paper.
His neck is lolly red.
I would like to turn your attention to the printout of your personal LinkedIn page and go right to the second page, bottom. And under education, it says University of Alabama at Birmingham. It's got a little UAB acronym there. And it says Bachelor of Science, B period, S period, comma, Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation, 2016-2018. Do you see that, sir?
Yes, I do.
That's not correct, is it?
No, it's not correct.
Why would you lie about stuff like that? It's so
What an idiot.
ridiculous.
Why does he look like he got smacked in the face with a telephone book? It's like
Because his normally rosy cheeks have now navigated down to his neck because he's like, oh crap, I think they might be on to me, Snoopy.
Yeah, I shouldn't have bought that new car yesterday. Tuft, all you two have is a thick muff, different location, same braids. Which two? Me and Val or Mo or Jamie?
You do not hold a BS in a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific
Thank you, Brett.
Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, do you?
I do not, and that would have been at that time an expected graduation date.
So
What
it would
now?
be
Expected from 2016 to 2018, and you haven't changed it in 7 years?
Sir, you can't be pregnant for 7 years now. I was pregnant for 5 years of my life, but you can't be pregnant just about fixing to get in your graduation for 7 years unless you are, well, I don't know, Van Wilder.
Why is Brennan so stupid he has to know this? It just broke on the internet over the weekend. I don't know anyone had pulled up on that. As an actual UAB graduate, I don't claim this joker. Go Dogs.
expected, you state.
Correct.
Isn't it the Alabama Bulldogs?
It would be another
Georgia
word
Bulldogs.
for was it
It's the same.
another word, currently pursuing?
Alabama is Roll Tide.
Sure, that could be similar.
But you know how to put currently pursuing down, don't you, sir? Because you did it on the first few CVs, but you don't have it on your LinkedIn page. Am I correct?
Gotcha, bitch.
Correct. That's probably because obviously that has not been updated in quite some time.
Where's
And-
Farrell? Is Farrell here?
You said you get notifications when people access your LinkedIn page, correct?
I get selective notifications when people view my LinkedIn page.
So you know people are looking at your LinkedIn page. You know people are looking at your education. And you have down here 2016 to 2018. So that time period is 7 years old from 2018, yet you use the 2016 to 2018 on your LinkedIn page, correct?
Correct. With the caveat that my understanding is people look at your post, not specifically the profile information.
Oh, so
Bullshit. Bullshit. You just told us all that you get notified when people view your profile. You're full of shit, sir.
So I only read Hustler for the articles as well. That's what I presumed you did with Hustler magazine.
I don't know the works of fiction of Dear Penthouse. What had happened to me one day, those works of
Liar,
fiction.
liar, pants on fire. Ugh.
This again, just admit, well, I had a job and I didn't care. That would have been a
Also-
better excuse instead of, well, I don't think that people don't look at my stuff down there.
It's
not
an old
Tinder where
profile.
they swipe left or right on the pictures alone.
I haven't updated it in years. It's an old profile. I've been working for Aperture for this long. I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Way better
Question.
explanation.
Does the University of Alabama actually have an applied mathematics and computational Bachelor of Science degree?
I'm sure they do.
Why are you asking us? None of us went to college. Well, Jamie
Well,
did.
someone
but,
in the chat said
I
they
mean,
went to the
not
same
for
school.
anything
so
crazy.
I figured if you lied, you at least would have figured out if the school actually had the damn degree, but he didn't seem that smart. So
Ryan, the science has a great point. Says, see, my LinkedIn is out of date, missing credentials, not having extra credentials. Good call, sir. Good call.
I get notifications about
Thank
my
you,
LinkedIn
Monty.
profile. I never made one.
me either. I know I keep getting calls from recruiting companies, and I'm like, why would anyone try to steal my life and go work retail?
UAB, University of Birmingham, Alabama.
you believe you know apparently when people are looking at it and what they look at
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying generally.
generally,
Correct.
but you don't know who's looking at the education section on your LinkedIn page and relying upon what is represented here, that you have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Not from the LinkedIn page. Yeah, just independently of the LinkedIn page, yes.
And as you sit here today, that page is still live on your LinkedIn, correct?
Correct.
So a key aspect of your credentials, whether or not you have obtained a Bachelor of Science, is incorrect in more than one document that I presented here today, correct?
No, I would not agree with that.
Well, it's incorrect in this one, correct?
Correct.
And the one previously to that, there's two documents that have you listed. This LinkedIn, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. So there's two documents, is there not, sir? There's, may I?
At this moment, how many think Brennan is saying we should have had that idea?
Right?
No, he's probably thinking, darn this defense for, trying to use trickery and ambush, like looking at his LinkedIn profile. No one told me to look at his LinkedIn profile.
And the University of Notre Dame doesn't produce liars. You can make many other claims, but not that one.
Sure
I
about
think that's
that?
a lie.
Previously in evidence? If you could hold that, this one, sir, and I'm going to take that if I could from you. And Exhibit 185, that's in evidence, if you can turn to the second page. So if you look at each of those state that you have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. So there are 2 documents about your credentials that are inaccurate, correct?
Yes, they have errors. Yes, that is correct.
May I have those back, sir?
Both. Yes. There you go.
You just corrected it with a pen.
Forgot the word does not in there. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, my female study basket weaving degree
Okay, put your arm.
Yes.
from the Ohio State
Have
will
the
be
next
linked
document,
tonight.
Mark, for identification at this point.
Oh no, is there? Did he lie on another CV? He's like, we got something else.
Did Jamie just choke on a Eunice clam burger?
You have this marked as the next for identification.
Oh,
God damn it, Alessi, you were not meant to see that.
How did you learn to access the internet?
Handing the witness Exhibit XX for identification.
Well, he is only a data expert.
Well, he probably thought Lalessi's too old to know what the internet is.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
He's clearly not
So
a
it appears to be
CV
a
expert.
CV. Yes.
Another CV?
You say it appears to be a CV. Can you describe that any further?
Yes. So it's a copy of my CV.
Is that a CV you prepared, sir?
It would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end.
Sorry, it would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
Yourself or Aperture?
Correct.
But you had, at a minimum, a role in preparing that, did you not?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, and you would have reviewed that because it's about you
shaking,
before
bacon,
it
he
would have
helped.
been used by Aperture, correct?
More than likely, yes.
You wouldn't let somebody put a CV up and out to the public without you reviewing it, would you, sir?
So there are other staff members that do review and update CVs,
But you're the only one who's going to know whether what's on it is accurate or not, correct?
unless I explain that to them. Yes.
So either way,
Unless I
either
lied
you
to them
prepared it
previously.
yourself or you interacted with somebody and explained it and collaborated with them to make sure it was right to the best of your ability, correct?
Correct.
If you can look at the highlighted portion, sir, under education.
There's no highlight. Well, I understand
sorry.
what you're talking about. There's no highlighted.
I'm
portion.
sorry, let's strike that. If you look under education, the first line, it says in the right underneath BGS. Do you see that, sir?
I do. Yes.
And then to the right, it says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama - Birmingham, Alabama, 2022. Did I read that correct?
Yes, you did.
And up in the upper left-hand corner, there's a photograph.
Marissa has been snuffing around. It's probably not even the company that removed the link to his profile. He changed his last name to be harder to find.
He changed his last name?
How in the name of
They didn't delete Man Shannon's LinkedIn. They just have the wrong LinkedIn address. He redacted his last name to make it harder to find.
oh, so now it's
Marissa
just
is
Shannon.
Marissa is
Like
working with
share.
LinkedIn every single day, so she will find you, and Jamie will hurt you.
Yes, there is.
Is that you, sir, in the photograph?
Yes, it is.
And in the spelling of your name, Shannon, that's with one N, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And so that is not only you in the photograph, that's the spelling of your name with one N, correct?
Correct.
And that's the correct spelling of your first name with one N, correct?
Yes. It
So
is.
that's definitely you
Hmm.
represented in this document, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
This
Now
one
let's
he
look
tried to
at the
hide.
first line that relates to education. It states
Outstanding.
Bachelors of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, correct?
That is what it states. Yes.
And the date is 2022, correct?
Correct.
So this document represents that you received your Bachelor's of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration in 2022, correct?
That is what it states, but there are a number of errors in that. Yes.
Correct.
That's
So
the
let's
point
go
that he's
on.
making,
So
sir.
this is the third example. Am I correct, sir?
Exactly.
Well,
That's my point.
Let me, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I
Is
love
there
that
another
his,
CV?
Your Honor, at this time,
I love his
offer exhibit
LinkedIn
XX.
says he's a mystery solver.
No objection.
Maybe you can solve the mystery of the shifting CVs.
The missing
Yeah, the
degree,
mystery of the vanishing job.
the missing bachelors of science.
Harry Potter and the pursuing of degrees.
Sir, is Exhibit 187 a CV that is linked directly from Aperture's website?
I do not know. I would have to look and check that.
So as you sit here today, you are not able to state whether that CV is linked directly from Aperture's website.
Correct.
Oh, let's see. Well, I can, and here's
So
the
this is a
link.
third example of a document that incorrectly states that you have a Bachelor of Science when you do not possess that degree, correct?
It has errors or outdated information. Correct.
Well, when you say outdated,
How can
is
it be outdated when you don't
because
have a
it's not
JD?
You
Yeah,
continue
exactly.
to not have a
Outdated next to
degree,
something that
sir.
you don't
It's not
possess.
outdated. It's current
I don't
dated.
understand your question.
Well, you just used the phrase either incorrect or outdated. I'm trying to understand
This
your
guy's
statement
screwed.
that it's
Sure. So
outdated. Isn't it either you have a Bachelor of Science degree or you don't? Isn't
I have represented I do not have a bachelor's degree.
correct? But in here, it's represented that you do, correct?
Yes, it is
All
an
right.
error. Yes.
So let's look at what the name is that are on these documents. It says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. Do you see that, sir?
I do.
Are you aware that there's no degree at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, called the Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business
There you go,
Administration?
Mo.
Yes, I am, and that is one of the errors I identified. Just now.
So you would agree that there's not even a degree called Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration offered at the University of Alabama, correct?
Correct. That should be Bachelor of General Studies with minor in Mathematics and Business Administration.
Why didn't
And
you
what
put
you
that
just
in?
articulated, you do not possess as you sit here today, correct?
That is correct.
What you possess is an associate's degree, correct?
Correct.
And when did you obtain that associate's degree?
So that would have been 2015.
Are you familiar with the term mendacity?
I am not.
That's a new one for me too, sir. Don't feel dumb.
Are you familiar with a CV of 2015?
No, I'm not.
Oh crap, they went back in time.
Say, oh my God, they found my MySpace.
He was
Do
in
you
my
still
five
like
friends.
big butts and you cannot lie?
Yeah, are you?
Sorry.
Sir, how many people have you rickrolled? Be honest.
Oh my
Your Honor,
Lord.
may I have this marked as the next exhibit for identification, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are the is paramedic Flamati there? This man might collapse.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
No, I do not recognize this document.
It's your MySpace account.
Oh God, now the top of his head is red.
what you're-
This,
Yes.
Well, it's evened out. He no longer looks like one of those girls who put on the.
Do you recall
the
ever
bronzer.
pursuing-
Yeah.
Okay. And can you see the document as well, or do you have a copy form?
You can see it as well, Your Honor.
Okay. I was just wondering the purpose.
Yeah, sure.
I think someone bought. I'm not sure.
Sir,
Never had it.
do you recall when you started pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree of any kind?
Sure, I do. Around 2008.
So you started pursuing a Bachelor
Wait
of
a
Science
minute,
for the
pause,
first
Baker.
time in 2000.
so he got his associate's degree in 2015, but he's been pursuing a bachelor's degree since 2008.
Well,
I'm
maybe.
a twice college dropout. That doesn't math to me.
Well, maybe he sees the associates as a step to the bachelor's.
Because
You know,
usually that's when you have
it's
to
a
get
mistake.
first. Yeah.
Fair point.
It's just a mistake.
Hey, correct?
Correct.
If I did the math correctly, sir, you've been pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree for 17 years, correct?
That is correct.
And you have not obtained it as you sit here today.
That is correct.
And yet there are the various documents that we've
Oh,
seen that
bless
state
his
that you have
heart.
obtained the Bachelor of Science, correct?
Again, with errors or misinterpretation. Yes.
Errors or misinterpretations
Misinterpretations.
are you
it's
stating,
on the thing.
but you would agree those errors or misinterpretation have been in existence for some time, correct?
Yes, I'm being made aware of them now. Yes.
Yeah, and they haven't been corrected for some time, correct?
Correct.
Oh, brother.
Oh, that Tuft's going to be
You
gone
work
by
for
tomorrow.
insurance companies,
R.I.P.
correct?
Tuft.
I do work for
Oh.
insurance companies in addition to law firms. Yes.
But you work for insurance companies, correct?
Yes. Sometimes. Yes.
Well, you state that right in your report in this case, don't you, sir? That you work for insurance companies?
I do work for insurance companies. Yes.
And what role do you play in working for insurance companies? You working for them, or are you working for the policyholders that have paid premiums or are making a claim to try to get money from an insurance company? Which role do you have?
Gotcha.
I'll allow that.
So I work for the insurance company themselves.
And in your work for the insurance company, has any of that work related to denying claims to insurance?
Objection.
Why don't I see you on this, Mr. Lassie?
Sure.
Oh God, did he make a really
For
bad
training and
call
experience,
doctor
the-
data for someone?
In October of 2024, the Commonwealth hired you to perform a new data acquisition from the infotainment and telematics system of Ms. Reed's Lexus SUV, correct?
That is correct.
And in your October 10, 2024 report, you outlined a proposal for attempting to extract additional data from the telematics and infotainment modules, correct?
Correct. With the caveat, it's not a report. It is a proposed protocol.
So we'll call it a proposal. In that proposal, you explain why, in your opinion, you believed an additional data acquisition was necessary based on your, in your words, education, training, and background, correct?
That is correct.
And when you prepared your proposal, you had access to the manufacturing specifications of the chips in question, correct?
I did.
You were under no critical deadlines to get the work done, correct?
Correct.
In your initial October 10, 2024 report, you explained that you believed the data acquisition was incomplete because, in your opinion, based on your education, again, your words, training, and experience, the download of the acquisition was less than the chip's storage capacity, correct?
That is correct.
And converting megabytes, B-Y-T-E-S, to megabits, B-I-T-S, and gigabytes to gigabits is a basic digital forensic concept. And that concept's critical to successful data acquisition and analysis. Fair statement?
I would say that's a fair statement.
In your initial report, you stated that the December 2023 data acquisition was from the spansion clip, S-P-A-N-S-I-O-N, from the infotainment model was incomplete because the acquisition was only 8 megabytes in size, even though the chip has a storage capacity of 64 megabytes, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's your October 10, 2020.
Was this the guy who wrote the report and said that there were several mistakes in the ARCA report? Yeah.
Are you sure?
Hope-
'Cause I thought it was Welcher.
Is it Welcher? Oh, hopefully
It might be
Welcher has a
Welcher.
better CV than this guy.
Okay,
24
dumb
report,
question for
correct.
those of us who can't do tech. What's the difference between a bit and a byte? Again,
It's 8 times as small.
which one's smaller?
A byte, not a
Oh.
byte.
Call.
I'm sorry. Well, is it proposal or protocol?
Protocol.
Protocol.
It is a protocol.
We'll use protocol. And you blame this on the, quote, programmer's inability to fully read the component, close quote, correct?
Correct.
In point of fact, the manufacturing specifications establish that the total flash memory component of the chips in question is equal to 64 megabits, not 64 megabytes, correct?
That is correct.
64 megabits is 8 megabytes, correct?
That is correct.
That means the spansion chip was not incomplete, correct?
Correct.
The acquisition was the same data size as the total memory storage capacity of the chip, correct?
Correct.
Your protocol for data acquisition was based on a misunderstanding of megabits versus megabytes, correct?
It was based on a working theory and a misinterpretation. Yes.
And that was your misinterpretation.
Yes, it was.
You mentioned Ms. Gaffney in your direct testimony. Do you recall that, sir?
Yes, I do.
She successfully acquired 8 megabytes of data from that Spanction chip during the December 2023 chip off, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that wasn't your only conversion mistake in your October 10, 2024 report, was it?
I'm not aware of any others.
You stated in your report that the data acquisition of the Micron JWB57 was incomplete because the acquisition was only 540 MB in size, but the storage capacity was 4 GB, and that's stated in your October 10, 2024 report, correct?
Protocol. Yes,
Protocol.
correct.
The Micron JWB57 chip is 4 gigabits flash memory component, not a 4 gigabyte flash memory component, as you incorrectly stated in your protocol.
That is correct.
So contrary to your assertion in the report, 4 gigabits,
going well for him.
gigabits is equal to 50 megabytes, which suggests that all the available data was successfully retrieved from this chip during the first acquisition by Ms. Gaffney, correct?
Really wish I could see Plevin's face right now if he understands what's going on. Sadly, this guy eats more shite than this on a daily basis, likely from minor males.
Oh,
And we haven't even gotten to his opinion yet.
No.
It's just his education
Oh.
and a little.
Yeah, and his
of it.
misunderstanding of bits and bytes. But
Yeah,
hey,
it's almost like that
it's
would
not
be
like
a basic
he pretends he
thing.
has a degree.
No.
yes, he does. Yes.
So
he
is that something you can do? Because I'm gonna start doing that.
Well,
Just lying on
Jamie,
your CV.
you
Yeah.
claim that you are a street pharmaceutical.
I never.
Yeah, as well.
You claim that.
Correct.
I would go to the Baker School.
So Ms.
Baker
Gaffney was
University.
not in error on that. She did not make a mistake on that, correct?
Not on that specific thing. Yes.
Right. It was you that simply misunderstood the difference between gigabits and gigabytes, correct?
Misinterpreted. I would not say misunderstood.
You
It's a fine thing, sweetheart. Don't church it up.
the difference between gigabits and gigabytes.
Correct. At that
You
time.
got
yes.
that wrong in layperson's terms.
Correct. I did make an error.
I've
You
never
stated
seen
in your
somebody's
report
comb over look
that
like a Yamaha
Micron, and I'm
before.
going to have
It's
to give
impressive.
an alphanumeric number because I know in digital forensics it's important to be precise and accurate. So bear with me, sir. You stated in your report that the Micron 29F2G08 ABAEA is a 2 gigabyte chip, and that the acquisition should have been 2 gigabytes, but was incomplete because it was only 264 MB in size, correct?
That is correct.
And the Micron, and I'm just going to refer back to the number to not repeat it, the long alphanumeric number is a 2 gigabit flash memory component, not a 2 gigabyte flash memory component, as you incorrectly stated in your protocol, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So 2 gigabytes is equal to 250 megabytes, correct?
Correct.
And that suggests that all available data was successfully retrieved during the first acquisition by Ms. Gaffney, correct?
From those chips. Yes.
From those chips. I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Didn't he imply on direct that Gaffney effed up and they found more storage and she didn't do it.
Yeah.
And now he's just saying, nah, I was an idiot. Luckily, we found an SD card that wasn't downloaded. Whew, I'm lucky.
The only thing I'm hoping is that they have jurors who understand this a little better than I do, because all I am getting out of this is that he can't do his job right, but it doesn't. The numbers and stuff don't make sense to me. But
They
the
don't really
inability
have
to calculate and do basic things related to his expertise, I am getting.
That's the important part. The numbers
Yeah.
don't matter. What you need to learn from this cross thus far is this expert witness is absolutely terrible at his job and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and has misrepresented his education level to a countless amount of people in the process.
I would probably be very worried if I'm Aperture, who works for insurance companies where this guy have denied payments.
No kidding. I'd be coming back after Aperture if my claims got denied by this jerk.
Yeah.
Lawsuits.
Whoa.
Lawsuits.
I do wonder if Alessi had access to a lawsuit currently pending or something from Aperture where it was shown that they shaded the data to go toward the insurance company.
Turtle Boy, breaking news,
Outstanding.
3 conspiracy charges, 2 witness intimidation charges, and 1 picketing charge against me have been dismissed. I'm
Good.
reading the ruling now and have
Awesome
more
stuff.
details later. Everyone,
Outstanding.
make sure that when we are done streaming, if Aiden goes live, to go see what, if any, has been dismissed. Congratulations with a little bit of the shit pile they've thrown at you going away.
Yeah.
Your
kidding.
opinion was again incorrect and was based on a misunderstanding of gigabits and gigabytes, correct?
A misinterpretation, correct?
A misinterpretation in layperson's terms. You got that wrong also.
It was an error, yes.
Did you have that protocol peer reviewed, sir?
No, I did not.
Was it peer reviewed by anybody at Aperture?
No, it was not.
Did you have a supervisor review that protocol before you filed it with the court?
No, sir.
You submitted your proposal based on your education, background, and experience.
Ooh. Ooh.
Back.
Turns out that
education.
the
I like how he
entire
says
foundation
it.
of your proposal was
for
based
that.
on a fundamental misinterpretation of the difference between a computer bit and a computer byte, correct?
No, not the entire thing. No.
Well, certainly a part of it was, correct, sir?
Correct. Partial.
You got conversions wrong with respect to analyzing 3 different chips, correct?
Correct.
And since you wrote that, have you learned the difference between a bit and a byte?
I've always known the difference between a bit and a byte. Yes.
Oh, well, Lassie.
You learned that in this case.
Wait.
Oh,
If he's
from
always known the
reading-
difference, then he intentionally misrepresented the data in his report to make somebody look like a liar.
Alessi, petty respects petty, I bow to thee.
He is the best at it. He's so nice about it.
Yeah, he's just like, have you stopped being stupid yet, or are you still kind of special?
Your education. I love that.
I've always known the difference between a bit and a byte. Yes.
You just forgot when you were
learned
writing.
that in this case from reading the affidavit of an expert for the defense who pointed out those errors before you submitted your supplemental report. Isn't that correct?
I would have to go back and look at the timing on that. I believe I submitted the supplemental before the protocol from the other expert.
Unless he
Are
would
you
mask
certain
if he
of that?
didn't know, sweetheart.
I'm not
Yeah.
certain of that.
Well, he's going to refresh your memory. Don't you worry about
Isn't
it.
it the case that the expert for the defense submitted his affidavit before you submitted your supplemental report?
Objection.
Do you know that?
I do not know that.
You don't know one way or another.
Correct.
Funny how it coincides with time.
And that person that I've referred to for the defense is Matthew DeSogra. You know that name?
I do.
And you have read Mr. DeSogra's affidavit in this case, have you not, sir?
I have, yes.
And you would agree that he pointed out these misinterpretations of yours in his affidavit, correct?
Correct.
I would like to go back to your January 30th, 2025 report.
Oh, this is beautiful.
You have a moment, Your
Yes,
Honor,
sir.
please?
Yes.
Thank
I would
you.
like to congratulate you on your last appearance in a courtroom as an expert witness. It won't happen again. And
Yeah, proceed, Your Honor. Thank you.
your time here is
In your
done.
January 30th, 2025 report, you know which one I'm referring to, sir?
Yes, I do.
Am I correct that you
It's the Commonwealth's expert.
indicated that at the time of this quote incident, Berlin
But it's the best defense so far. At this point, Bev should have grave concerns and she should dismiss this case because there's no way to get beyond reasonable doubt.
did not
No,
offer
and the fact
support
that the
for the
company
incident?
seems to be in league with him, not, first of all, the company didn't do their due diligence on an employee, but if they are working with him to fabricate his educational history and, put it out there, there is a lot of, shadiness there. You can't trust it.
Entertainment and telematics modules removed from the Lexus, but have since released updated software according to similar modules that are supported by in-vehicle acquisition.
That is correct.
And the infotainment module that was removed from Ms. Reed's Lexus is consistent with the MMU. You know what I'm referring to in the MMU?
Right.
It's consistent with the MMU documented by Berla and has been identified as containing an internal micro SD card not acquired during the initial chip-off acquisition by Mrs. Gaffney. You remember that statement in the report, sir?
I do, yes.
You obtained no additional information from the chips that were already analyzed by Ms. Gaffney, did you?
Every witness is sequestered, yes.
Correct.
Correct that you
he
obtained
was getting
no
reports, right?
additional information, right?
No,
Yeah,
no
but that's
data
before
of
trial
value from
started.
those chips, yes.
No data
No, it
of
wasn't.
value. So all the data
It's on the
of
seventh.
They
value,
claim.
Ms. Gaffney had already obtained from those chips, correct? That-
No,
that's
so that's kind of a confusing question. So there was no data of value from those chips to begin with.
Fair enough.
Right.
So Ms. Gaffney didn't miss anything of value.
Correct.
Fair?
Correct.
Do you know how much the Commonwealth has paid Aperture to date for doing the work in this case?
I do not.
Are you going
Do
to
you have
reimburse them?
any involvement at all in knowing what the contract is between Aperture and the Commonwealth?
I do not.
Have you ever had any discussions with any colleagues from Aperture with regard to how much Aperture has been paid in this case?
No, I have not.
Do you have an estimation as to how much Aperture has been paid in this case?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
You've never had any discussion with anybody at Aperture about the fees Aperture has charged the Commonwealth in this case?
No,
I
have
like this actually. He's getting ahead of
Who
them doing it
in
to Arca.
Aperture is
Yeah.
in charge of knowing how much fees Aperture has charged the Commonwealth?
not. That would be the accounting department,
Would Dr. Judson Welcher know?
potentially.
Oh, put his name out there. Like he's part of this. He's part of this shady company.
Your analysis, I want to move on to another category, sir. Your analysis in this case was not strictly limited to data and science, was it?
No, it was strictly limited to data and science.
The Commonwealth requested that you review numerous materials in connection with your analysis in this case, correct?
I did review materials, yes.
You did not review the January 29, 2022 CARS report by, well, let me put it this way. Did you review the January 29, 2022 CARS report prepared by Trooper Paul?
No, I did not.
Do you know what a CARS report is?
I do not.
Do you know that a CARS report
He's nodding
was
yes
prepared
and
by
saying
Trooper
no.
Paul for this
That's
case?
a red
No, I do
flag.
not.
If there was a
No, I do
collision
not.
analysis and reconstruction report prepared by a trooper in that case, would you want to see a document such as that?
No, not for my analysis.
Would somebody at Aperture want to see that document?
Objection.
I'll reword. Are you familiar with collision analysis and reconstruction reports prepared by law enforcement agencies?
I am vaguely familiar, yes.
Vaguely familiar. Have you ever used one in your analysis at all?
I have seen them, yes.
You've seen them. And my question is, seeing them, have you ever read any of them?
Yes, I have read them, yes.
Have you ever
Okay,
considered
geez.
a collision analysis and reconstruction report as part of the work that you do at Aperture?
Not specifically a collision analysis report from law enforcement. We do routinely see crash reports, but I think what you're referring to is something else.
Are you aware of a supplemental collision analysis and reconstruction report of Trooper Paul of the Massachusetts State Police dated July 24, 2024?
No, I'm not.
Why does he keep doing
You
that?
know
It's
whether
driving me
Trooper Paul is
bonkers.
part of the Massachusetts State Police reconstruction team?
I do not.
And lastly, do you know whether he's part of the reconstruction team in this case?
I do not.
Oh, he's got a bobblehead thing going on.
Get Trooper Paul in.
Did
I just
anybody
want all
tell
this
you to
information in.
avoid reviewing a collision analysis and reconstruction report in this case?
No, they did not.
You did, however, review the 2024 testimony of Trooper Nicholas Garino in the proceeding of last year, didn't you?
I did for specific data, yes.
So that's not really science and data, is it? It's testimony.
Yes, it is tested. That would be the accounting.
You've seen them. He proposed in the first proceeding.
But I think what you're referring to is something else.
Are you aware of a supplemental collision analysis and reconstruction report of Trooper Paul of the Massachusetts State Police dated July 24, 2024?
No, I'm not.
Do you know whether Trooper Paul is part of the Massachusetts State Police reconstruction team?
I do not.
And lastly, do you know whether he's part of the reconstruction team in this case?
I do not.
Did anybody tell you to avoid reviewing a collision analysis and reconstruction report in this case?
No, they did not.
Did anybody tell you
Did,
Trooper Paul
however,
was an idiot?
review the 2024
Mistakes.
testimony of Trooper Nicholas Garino in the proceeding of last year, didn't you?
I did for specific data, yes.
So that's not really science and data, is it? It's testimony.
Yes, it is testimony.
So you did review materials in this case beyond science and data, correct? You reviewed testimony.
Sure, that is common, yes.
Then why didn't you say that the first time he asked you?
Again, don't lie. Just say
Having reviewed
yes or no, or
Trooper
I
Garino's
don't know.
testimony, you therefore are aware of the theory that he proposed in the first proceeding, correct? It was in his testimony?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
I'm not. So specifically, I reviewed Trooper Garino's testimony for information related to the infotainment and telematics modules.
So did you read all of the testimony?
No, I would have skimmed it.
You would have skimmed
Skimmed?
the testimony?
Correct.
And how would you, and what would be the purpose to just skim it?
I got the cliff notes. Don't worry, y'all.
Didn't need to read the whole report. Just, you know.
Just
skimmed
skim
it.
through it. Cliff
Just
notes,
skimmed it.
you know?
I watched it on 2 times X. I was just, while I was playing Raid Shadow Legend,
Oh, shit.
Oh, Brennan just prairie dogged a little bit in his
Acting up.
pants.
That's fine. He'll come up here and go, none of that matters.
I'm
You
back.
did the work. You're good.
You're integraful
Yeah.
with Tegrity Farms.
The degrees
This
matter.
man is
Does any
turning
of
to
that
Randy
matter?
Marsh.
You lied about some thing. It's okay. It's fine.
Fault is
Wanna
with America.
focus
We
on-
could lie on our CVs.
And you,
Yeah.
as you sit here today, you don't have any recollection of what the theory of the Commonwealth was in the first proceeding?
Not from that testimony, no.
Do
Well,
you
sir, you just
recall
skimmed it.
Trooper Garino as part of what you reviewed? So you reviewed certain things of Trooper Garino in his testimony, correct?
Correct.
And in your direct testimony, you testified extensively about the iPhone of John O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
And you looked at and testified about a lot of information from the phone of John O'Keefe. Is that a fair statement?
Location data.
Location data. Did you read Therefore, Trooper Garino's claim that the last...
Objection.
So why don't I see it side by, find out where it's going?
Sure.
Side by side.
That's a
Darn it.
please make it stop objection. That's all that was.
Yeah. There was nothing in it to object over. And
No.
I don't know if she's going to take him up there and say, I promised him you didn't want the 1 year.
Jurors, we're just waiting a minute for something before we can proceed. Feel free to stand.
The witness is having a heart attack, so
Where's Miss Little?
Thing we can go to and come back. Mr. Alessi, is there anything we can go to and come back? If there's not, there's not.
It would be a bit incongruous, Your Honor, but I
Okay.
can do it if Your Honor would like.
Do you have any idea how much longer it's going to be?
I will go check.
What is she talking about?
I think they're
Miss
printing
Little is
something
gone.
out.
Yeah, Miss Little's looking for something. 2 seconds. Outstanding.
it's never 2
Just-
seconds.
Well, no.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Little's a
I'm-
damn stud, y'all. She's amazing.
Yeah, I was
yeah,
about to
she's so
say, everyone is always touting how great AJ and Yannetti is, and they are good lawyers. But oh my
Miss
God,
Little, though.
as one who have sat with a lot of different prosecutors and lawyers, I love the tag team of Alessi and Miss Little.
Yes.
They are highly organized and they know exactly what piece of paper to look for. I love it. There's nothing better than
Yeah.
that when you have a lawyer who can just, is it this we are
Yes.
looking for? Yes, it is.
Yeah, and you see her do that when like
May I approach, Your
Jackson's
Honor?
up there, whatever. She'll be like, "Come here, like let me tell
Yeah.
you something," because she has it all down.
Yes.
I will show this to Mr. Brennan first, and then if the court would like to see it, we've got another.
That's, thank you.
Brennan. Marked as the next exhibit.
No.
Please, Your Honor.
Yes.
No worries.
Exhibit ZZ, Friday.
It's been marked. May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, I'm handing you what has been marked as Exhibit ZZ for identification. Ask you to take a moment to look at it, please, when you've had a fair opportunity to look at it. If you could pick your head up, sir, and I'll proceed that time.
Yeah, and I like I don't like flashy lawyers who talk up a storm. I like competent lawyers.
Have you lied about your degree? Did you claim to reconstruct D-Day? Bama accent? No credit? No problem. Come on to work with the new guys in town. Amateur. Pretty good. Pretty good.
That was great.
Zach has been working on that one since we started this morning. With Miss Little, you ignore those side saddle pounds and just go.
So I'm going to just ask one predicate question and then ask you.
Thank you, Brendan.
Another question.
Sure.
I thought
Does Exhibit
side saddle-
ZZ
what the hell?
contain, and if you just answer this yes or no, that would be great. Does it contain location, data, information?
Objection.
I'll allow that without pursuing
That's
it.
the only one I have for that purpose.
Okay.
Does it, sir?
Yes, it does.
Did you consider this part of Trooper Garino's testimony in any review that you've done in this case?
No, I did not.
Thank you, sir.
Ugh, flesh headband. Ugh. It's a good description, but it's.
That's kind of gross sounding.
He's kind of like LeBron James. He should just at least.
On December,
Shave
we're going
it
to move
off.
on now to another topic, sir. On December 5th, 2024, Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, you know that name, sir?
Yes, I do.
How do you know that name?
So he is the one who hand delivered the infotainment and telematics module to our office in South Lake.
Exactly. So he delivered the infotainment module containing the SD card that you talked about on direct examination so that you could attempt to reinstall it in Miss Reed's vehicle for an in-vehicle acquisition attempt, correct?
That was part of it, yes.
That was part of it.
Correct.
That day, you initially attempted an in-vehicle acquisition, meaning you reconnected the infotainment module to the faceplate in Miss Reed's vehicle and reinstalled both the infotainment and the telematics module for an in-vehicle unlock and acquisition, correct?
That was an attempt, yes, on December 7th, for clarification.
And that was on December 7th.
Correct.
And that was December 7th of 2024.
Correct.
You conducted this same testing on an exemplar vehicle. And to be clear, exemplar was a vehicle that Aperture had purchased.
Yes, that is a vehicle that Aperture has purchased.
So Aperture purchased it. And it's a vehicle, as I understand, you testified, that's similar to the vehicle of Miss Reed, correct?
Correct.
And so you call it an exemplar because it's similar to the vehicle in question, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So I'm going to continue using your parlance of exemplar vehicle.
Sure.
And so you conducted this same testing on the exemplar vehicle and successfully reinstalled and tested the infotainment and telematics systems for an in-vehicle unlock and acquisition, correct?
For an in-vehicle acquisition, not for an unlock.
Okay, so for just an in-vehicle acquisition.
Correct.
I appreciate the correction, sir. But in this case, with Miss Reed's actual Lexus, you were unable to successfully reinstall and test the infotainment and telematics systems, correct?
Correct.
Bits in a computer, bites on John O'Keefe's arm, correct? Pretty close. That's accurate. Island says, what, if any, shreds of dignity does he have left? Very little. Very, very little.
Less than he has hair on his island forehead.
I was going to say, rocking that haircut, you probably didn't have a whole lot of dignity to start with, if I'm being completely honest and a little bit ruthless.
On Miss Reed's Lexus, you were able to get the infotainment backlight and faceplate to illuminate, but in your own words, the infotainment system did not respond as expected, correct?
Correct.
So instead, you took the micro SD card itself and attempted to retrieve data from that card directly, correct?
Correct.
Lexus locks cards in its system, correct?
It does, yes.
If Lexus thought it was appropriate to access those cards, do you know whether or not they would have them unlocked? You know.
I do not know.
Now,
I'm going to let the answers.
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor. I want to cover a basic question. Do you have any citation to any scientific literature where specifically what you did on this Lexus model has ever done before? Has it ever been done before, do you know?
No, not on this specific model, which is why we did the exemplar testing.
Right. So there's no scientific literature that states that the methodology that you used with this Lexus model is an appropriate methodology at all, correct?
There is literature that addresses the methodology in other ways, but not specific to this Lexus, correct?
There's no literature at all stating that the methodology that you used for this Lexus is the appropriate methodology to use for this Lexus model, correct?
There's no literature about this appropriate Lexus model, correct?
This appropriate Lexus model? You're just adding words to sentences now?
Can I just say I've been single for a long time, so if any inappropriate Lexus models are out there, DMs are open.
Hey, Baker, I would like to point out this man's wearing a wedding ring.
Let's talk
Wait till
about
she
your
finds out he doesn't have a degree.
initial report of January 30th of 2025. You issued your initial analysis and report on January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
Your report included a general timeline analysis. You used that phrase, timeline analysis, that you stated could impact, quote, event reconstruction. Do I have that right? Your January 30th, 2025 report does not discuss a collision, does it?
No, not in my report. No.
As a matter of fact, your January 30th, 2025 report doesn't even use the word collision, does it?
Correct, because I'm looking at data from the infotainment and telematics module.
But the report of January 30th, 2025 does not even contain the word collision in it, correct?
I believe it does in the background portion, which would be on page 2 or 3, which would just be restating the, if you mind if I can look at my report?
Oh, please.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Got a wedding ring and a fancy watch.
That's a Casio speak and spell from 1984. He just hasn't taken it off. Or whatever you call those
No,
calculators.
so I apologize. The word that was used was incident.
Right.
Correct.
But you don't use the word collision at all in your January 30th, 2025 report.
That is correct.
I appreciate you checking that, sir.
I appreciate you verifying that I was correct.
Also, and please keep your report handy.
Sure.
Your January 30th, 2025 report does not in any way detail the timing of what you now call a text stream event at all, correct?
No, it does not.
So in your January 30th, 2025 report, you refer to it as an incident, and in your May 8th report, you refer to it as a text stream event, correct?
That would be referring to two different things.
Right, right. But did you use the parlance text stream event at all in your January 30th, 2025 report?
No, I did not.
But you're using it now, correct?
Correct.
And we're talking about the same event, right?
Correct.
In fact, your analysis and conclusions were limited in your January 30th, 2025 report to generally identifying a clock skew between Mr. O'Keefe's phone and Miss Reed's infotainment system, correct?
That is correct.
On January 30th, 2025, you engaged in no further analysis to determine whether precisely the 1162.2 text stream event that you now call it occurred, correct?
Correct.
Why not?
I was not asked to at that time. I was just asked to look at the general timeline and consistency of the timestamps.
Because Brennan said that he didn't ask him to look at the supposed differences, that he just created this report out of the goodness of his heart and Jesus told him to do. And the state was like, oh, we just got this report for no reason. This
Yeah, I at that time, and I wasn't asked to at that time. That's bad. And he stated,
Fluffy is going to hurt you.
Bless you.
Fluffy got in my throat.
I think, I don't know. Are you Fluffy or is this guy's hair Fluffy? Who's Fluffy?
Well, I couldn't tickle his tonsils.
So, back in January 30th, 2025, you were not asked
No rings on these
to
fingers.
engage in analysis to determine when precisely the 1162.2 text stream event occurred. Is that fair?
That is fair, and that is based on the common concept that
Good one, Natalie Joni. What's in a wedding ring? Is he just pursuing marriage and how to tell the time? Yeah, probably.
Oh my God. I've been pursuing this marriage for 17 years. We're not there yet, though.
A lot of cases that we work, there is clock skew, but we do not have events to precisely determine what that clock skew is.
Understood. So wasn't your goal, however, on January 30th, 2025, to determine the correct timeline of events relative to this incident? Wasn't that your goal?
It was my goal to determine the data from the infotainment and telematics modules that were missed in the initial download and create a timeline and consistency of those timestamps.
So your goal was to create a timeline, correct?
Correct.
And that timeline, among other uses, was to be for your colleague, Dr. Judson Welcher, to use that in his analysis, correct?
That is correct.
So you knew not only what your purpose was, but you knew what your work was going to be used for by Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Well, I knew it was going to be provided, yes.
Well, you knew it was going to be provided. Have you ever talked to Judson Welcher, your colleague, about this case at all?
I have vaguely, yes.
How many times have you talked to him?
I would count a handful of times.
And just give me a general idea of the nature of the discussions between you and Dr. Welcher.
We were
both
talking about
working
my
on the
degree
same,
from Alabama.
quote, incident, right?
Sure, yes.
What would have been the nature of those discussions?
So those discussions would have been identifying what I found on the infotainment and telematics modules and discussing, explaining that data.
No, Baker. Back that car up. Chat rim. What?
What?
What? I don't know.
What happened there?
Thank you, Inspire.
Thank you, Dr. Welcher.
So did Dr. Welcher ever
Maybe
tell
it's
you,
because
your
I said
colleague,
I couldn't
why
touch this.
he wanted to use that data for his purposes?
For reconstructing a timeline.
And for reconstructing a timeline and picking a time for what you now call a text stream event, correct? You knew that's what he was doing.
Correct, for a timeline, yes.
Right, so you knew that for the 1162.2 text stream event, he was
Not going to jinx it, but Crystal La Rosa has a point. No emergency vehicles today.
going to use your analysis back in January of 2025 to try to pinpoint that text stream event 1162.2, correct?
That is correct.
You knew that.
Yes.
And you know that he used that data to select a specific range for that text stream 1162.2 text stream event, correct?
I don't know if select would be the right. I understand what you're saying. Yes.
What term would you use?
Sure. So based on the data, he's identifying the time approximately when that event would have occurred.
And that text stream event, that 1162.2.
I think he knows. That's why his face looks like he's been out in the sun for 2 days.
Is what Aperture is contending is a time of a collision. Is that correct, to your knowledge?
That's sustained on that. Ask it differently, Mr. Nelson.
Do you know the purpose of the 1162.2 text stream event in the analysis performed by your firm?
No, Dr. Welcher, I do not.
So you performed your analysis and all these timelines that you talked about on direct without knowing what Dr. Welcher was going to do with that data?
No, so sorry, I misspoke. So it would be to timeline the time and date, or to put a time and date with when that text stream trigger would have occurred.
Exactly.
Right.
So you knew what the purpose was.
I love his
of your work
Correct.
with regard to Dr. Welcher's work.
Correct.
And isn't Dr. Welcher's work on the 1162.1 and the 1162.2 text stream event an important aspect of the work of Aperture in this case?
Yes, it is.
Do you see where we're going here, sweetheart?
Did
I know
anybody
you're
from
pursuing
the
your degree.
Commonwealth ask you in your January 30th, 2025 report to not discuss your work in connection with the text stream 1162.1 and the 1162.2 events?
No.
But you didn't discuss that, meaning the 1162.1 and 1162.2 events in your first report in January 30th, did you?
That was not part of my report, correct?
But you did delve into that and pretty heavily in your May 8th report, correct?
Correct.
And you delved into that pretty heavily in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
It's getting
So
louder.
after the trial, do you know the trial started around April 22nd in this case? Generally?
Yes, generally.
So let's do the timeline on this. January 30th, 2025, you prepare your initial report, correct?
Correct.
In that initial report, you mentioned nothing about text stream event 1162.1.
He's like the
In
Titanic,
that
slowly
report, you
sinking.
mentioned nothing about text
Faster
stream
than
event
it took him to get his
1162.2.
bachelor's
correct?
degree.
Correct.
The trial starts April 22nd, correct?
Correct.
Roughly.
Generally.
No, the trial in this case, this trial, about April 22nd. After the trial starts and after witnesses, of course, are appearing, you prepare another report, correct?
Correct.
And that's your May 8th report,
Correct.
right in the middle of this trial.
Correct.
You get what I'm putting down, jury? That's what Leslie.
And right
Hope you
in the
just
middle of
stop
this
talking and look at
trial,
the jury.
you enlarge the number for the 21 to 29 range. That's bigger than what it was in your first report, correct?
No, that is not correct.
Well, you changed the number, don't you?
No, I did not change the number.
Well, let's go back to see exactly what you did, sir.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Let's
So-
start with the basics. You said
predicting
on
in about
direct
10 seconds,
examination,
he's gonna
sir,
admit that he changed the
that you
number.
prepared your May 8th
Sir,
report
unless we
on your
actually
own
graduate
initiative. Those were your words on your
certificate.
direct testimony, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to read the first line of your May 8th, 2025 report.
Okay.
Do you have it in front of you? sir?
Oh,
did,
please, on
It
behalf
starts,
of,
Dear Mr. Brennan. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Dearest
Pursuant to your request. That's a request you're
Oh.
referring to of Mr. Brennan, correct?
Correct.
I have completed an additional analysis concerning the above referenced matter.
Brennan stated in court
He
to
did not
Bev,
ask him.
he did not ask for it.
It was
And
surprise
he
to
was
him.
surprised.
It was a
to
surprise
receive it.
to him to receive this report on the 8th.
So he's now
Brennan.
going to say, well, I meant his first report that I made, and then I didn't. And I thought, well, I better follow up on it.
Oh,
After
for the love
my
of
job's been
Bev,
done.
call something. Be fair for once. I mean, you can't ignore it at this point.
It's a Rule 14 and a Brady violation. Yeah.
Yeah.
To formulate opinions, the following additional items were reviewed.
No.
This wasn't done on your initiative. You put in writing you did it at the request of Mr. Brennan. Which is it?
So that was on my own initiative. This is a holdover, so a copy and paste from my original report.
Right.
Absolutely
Explain
not, sir.
The May 8th report in your language pursuant to your request as a cut and paste from a previous report?
Yes, I am.
Ooh. Please have a report, all the
Do
reports,
you
and not
cut
one
and
be
paste
copy and paste. of this
important
one.
information from one report to the other without checking it for accuracy?
I copy and paste certain portions.
Do you ever review
Don't
what you
check
cut and paste to see if it's accurate?
Yes.
You didn't review it this time, though, did you, sir?
No, I did not think it was significant.
Well, you don't think it's significant, sir, that the matter is in the middle of a trial and there's a request for a new report after testimony has occurred in that trial? You don't think that's important?
Objection.
Sustained.
Please, that's a legitimate question.
Why did you prepare the new report then?
Sure. So there was a claim from a PowerPoint presentation by Mr. DeSogra of trying to adjust clock syncs or making clock adjustments based on the synchronization of certain events. That was produced in March. Upon reviewing that, my initial thoughts were to address that in testimony. But as I was preparing for trial, I made the decision that it needed to be better addressed in a supplemental report.
But you understand that the report that you're referring to, that's the report of Mr. Soger, correct?
It is a presentation of Mr. DeSogra.
It's
correct.
a presentation. You understand his presentation merely was responding to the work that you did, correct?
No, that's not correct.
So your belief is that Mr. DeSoger's report didn't address at all what you had done?
Partially, yes, but no.
Okay, but let's cover the basics. You
Sure.
agree that Mr. DeSogra addressed, at least in part, the work that you had done?
He tried to address, yes.
Right. So do you
Tried
know
to.
the date of Mr. DeSoger's report as March 5th? Does that sound right to you?
Yes, that's what I
So
said.
you had Mr. DeSogra's
2
report
months.
that you claimed was the basis for you on your own in the middle of this trial, creating and submitting a new report. You claimed that the basis for that was Mr. DeSogra's report of March 5th of 2025.
I don't know what Brennan has said to him, but I hope he has problems sitting on the side his wallet is in, because this guy has now lost everything if there's any justice in the world. He lied potentially to his company about his education. He has lied to clients, or at least forgot to correct his record. And now he's claiming that, well, I just copy-pasted a very important sentence that actually means a whole heck of a lot in a trial. I'm not saying Brennan paid him for it, but I hope he has trouble sleeping on the side where his wallet is.
I hope he's rolling quarters.
Yeah, the problem is he'll probably be looking for unemployment pay tomorrow if there's any justice after this
he'll
hack
just
job.
spit shine a new CV where he's pursuing criminal justice and whatever applied
Yeah.
physicmonologist.
Brennan should be told, give us all your communications.
That is correct.
Absolutely.
You waited 2 months to do that?
Again, my initial thoughts were to address it on
My
testimony.
question, sir, is not your thoughts. Just, did you wait 2 months?
Just let him finish the answer.
My question, sir.
No,
finish it how you
Bev.
like.
Sure. So
2 months, was it 2 months between March 5th and when you submitted your report on May 8th? Was that 2 months?
yes, it is.
So, did you know when this trial was going to start, sir? Generally?
Yes.
Do you think it's fair to submit a report without anybody asking you in the middle of a trial?
Objection.
Sustained.
That one should have been sustained.
Yeah, sadly. But
As we've been discussing, you issued
pulled something like this.
A brand new
Brennan would
report
be
in this case dated
taken
May
to
8th,
fire.
2025, correct?
Correct.
Losing his shit.
That changed your analysis, correct?
No, it did not change my analysis.
Were there changes to your analysis in it?
There were clarifications.
Clarifications.
Is that
Correct.
changed?
Let's,
That's a change.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
in your January 30th, 2025 report, you did not mention tech stream event at all, did you?
No, I did not.
And you didn't mention collision at all, correct?
No, I did not.
And you mentioned both of those now in your May 8th, 2025 report, correct?
I don't know if I mentioned collision. I'd have to go to my report and look.
But you certainly do mention tech stream events, correct?
Yes, that's
and
correct.
you labeled them 1162.1 and 1162.2, correct?
Correct.
That's a change from your first report, isn't it, sir?
No, it's not a change. It's a supplement.
Oh, so your definition is that when you add something to a report, it's not a change, it's a supplement?
That is what it is, yes.
You didn't go to college for this, son. I don't know.
Who did you speak
Baker's going to fall out
to
here.
regarding the May 8th, 2025 report before you prepared it?
And no one before I prepared it.
So you just prepared it on your own?
I did.
No one
Did
believes that.
you have any communications at all? I asked you who you spoke with, but did you have any communications at all?
Did you see that? He said that and then shifted his eyes to the jury. That was one of those seeking approval with your lie looks.
Can I remind you all of the Wadir of Arca?
Dr. Wolf.
What was he asked about monetary gains that they had gotten? What did he say specifically? I don't know how much we got paid. I just keep a time schedule because Arca wants to get paid. This guy has now spent somewhere in 2 months' time, he all of a sudden found out, oh my God, I'm going to write a new report. I'm going to wait 2 months till the trial has started. And he does it on his own without anyone asking him. If Brennan didn't ask him, I hope he did it in his own time because he can't bill Aperture for it. But if he can't bill Aperture for it, he can't present it as a work product of Aperture. Because Aperture has to get paid for him to be an expert talking on behalf of Aperture.
Yeah, that's another good point.
If he's working on his own dime, he can't present it as being an expert from Aperture. It's the same question I've always asked about that Cellbrite guy. Was he hired through Cellbrite or was he hired as an independent contractor talking about Cellbrite? Because he didn't use Cellbrite for anything. He used his own shitty program. This should be the question. If you're not getting, did you get paid for the time you spent on the report? Because I'm pretty sure his company would be mad that he worked for a client for free without having anyone in the company saying, well, that's fine. Anyone here knows any of your bosses who thinks, yeah, you can use company time to do whatever you want. I really want you to get the work done in that boating accident where we are standing to win $1 million in a suit. That is really important. But hey, if you want to do some free time studying, you can do it on the dime. Because he can't present himself as being a part of Aperture if he's not getting paid for it.
Not to mention, even if you don't get to get all that in, he is copying and pasting stuff. He is just phoning things in. His, first report that what he was paid for was kind of like stuffing things from Trooper Paul. So,
yeah,
this is, at this point, he can continue trying to dig himself out of this hole, but I don't think you can get him anywhere at all out.
He's not freelance. He's working for Aperture. He's presented as an employee of Aperture. That means that he's carrying the name of Aperture. So I'm pretty sure that whatever seconds he have spent thinking about this case better be billed back to Aperture. Because Aperture has certain obligations as well. It's kind of like a law firm. If they're just thinking about maybe calling you, they will bill you.
Fed. That's hilarious.
The Aperturian candidate.
Normally I don't watch other streamers or this trial after I finish my breakdown. I go generally to something else. I am now dying to see everyone's reactions to this cross. I'm going to be
Yeah.
geeking out on all the streams.
So someone better do a clip reel of it so we can watch it without having to watch 4 hours.
With either
that would be
Detective
nice.
Lieutenant Tully or Buchanan.
So I did reach out to Tully to get a full set of the location data. Yes.
To Tully, your buddies now? You drinking buddies? You gonna go fishing? You want to bang his daughter?
Yes, that is correct.
Did you tell me that the trial had started in this case?
No, not during that conversation. No.
That's not the first communication you had with Detective Tully, was it?
No, it's not.
How many conversations have you had with Detective Tully?
I would say a handful.
How much is a handful?
I would be speculating, but we'll say 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Sure.
Is
That's
Detective
2
Tully
handfuls.
expert at all in digital forensics?
No.
Why would he be talking to
If you had
Tully?
5 to 10 conversations with him.
He's the guy who
Correct, to
brought
get
stuff
provided
down to
information.
That was aggressive. I apologize, Island. My bad.
At any time, has anybody from the Commonwealth had a discussion with you relative to your January 30th, 2025 report or your May 8th, 2025 report about keeping flexible the timelines for any events in this case?
No, sir.
Did you have any discussions at all regarding the May 8th, 2025 report you prepared in the middle of this trial with anyone from the district attorney's office?
Yes.
When did you have those discussions?
That would have been on, probably May 7th when I reached out to Mr. Brennan.
What?
So you reached out
Why did he reach out to Brennan on May 7th?
on May 7th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
The day before he turned in his supplemental report that he did all on his own without being asked
Correct.
to do?
So before,
I'm going back and putting the boost on because I can't hear shit he's saying when he's away from the
Yeah.
microphone.
On, probably May 7th when I reached out to Mr. Brennan.
so you reached out to Mr. Brennan on May 7th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
That's before May 8th of 2025, correct?
Correct.
So before you sent that report in, you had a discussion with Mr. Brennan about it, am I correct?
Correct.
What was that discussion about?
That was just a discussion over the data and what the report said.
So you were discussing with Mr. Brennan what was going to be in your report, including data and analysis, correct?
Correct.
Did you tell Mr. Brennan that you were going to be submitting the report shortly to him on May 8th?
Yes.
Did you agree to a time
Whoops, you lied, Brennan.
when you would submit that report?
No, I did not.
Did you tell him when you were going to submit it?
No, I did not.
But after the conversation on May 7th, that you discussed with him that you had either pretty close to finalize the report. It's a pretty extensive report, right?
Correct.
So on May 7th, you were pretty well along the way in that report, correct?
Correct.
Did you let Mr. Brennan know that?
Yes.
So he knew the nature of the report, he knew how far along we were with it.
Correct.
Did you have any other calls with anybody from the prosecution's office other than that about your May 8th report?
No, I don't believe so.
Do you have any texts with anybody about your May 8th report?
No.
Did you communicate with anybody else about your upcoming May 8th report?
No, I would have provided a copy to Dr. Welcher.
Your colleague?
Correct.
So Dr. Welcher knew you were working on this report, correct?
He knew I submitted the report. I don't know if
Brennan is a witness now. Sidebar. Yeah, could we just get a good judge on this one? Because
Yes.
Brennan has again lied when he said, I didn't know I got a report on the 8th.
I
Well, you did
was
because
in
you talked to him on the 7th.
Yeah, and you allegedly didn't encourage him to turn it in. So you were gonna ambush the defense? I mean, Bev, come on. At some point,
Yeah.
there has to be a line that the state crosses.
And this is trial by ambush because he didn't give this report to the defense till the 11th. Well, they got it on the 8th. No, they got it on the 11th. Again, it's trial by ambush by changing reports midstream. Well, I didn't ask him to. Well, he apparently thought that it would be a really good idea to work for free. I don't buy it.
He knew I was working on the report?
Did he know you were going to submit the report before you submitted it?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Did he know what was going to be in the report?
Yes, he did.
Did he support the fact that you were going to submit a report in the middle of trial?
I can't speak for Dr. Welter.
But he knew you were going to do it.
Correct.
Did he say anything, don't do that? Or did he have any comment about the fact you were going to submit it?
Not that I recall off the top of my head.
Not that you recall,
I think
so is it
it'll be
possible
Dr.
he did
Welcher.
comment on whether you should submit it in the middle of trial?
No, he would not have commented.
Sebastian, we had that after court discussion the other day, and she said with her knowledge, there wasn't enough there to have a voir dire of this guy. She probably wished she had one now, because she will have to sit and just let all of this happen. And Brennan is probably as red in the skull right now as Hugo Weavner in Captain America, First Avenger.
On whether I should have submitted it or not.
How many times in your career, sir, have you submitted a supplemental or amended report in the middle of trial?
This would be the only one that I recall.
So this is the only time. How many years have you been doing this?
Approximately 10 years.
And so approximately 10 years, this is the first time you've submitted a amended supplemental report in the middle of a trial.
A supplemental report, correct.
As you call it, a supplemental report in the middle of trial.
Correct.
Do you know a person by the name of Ian Whiffen?
Yes, I'm familiar with the name.
You say you're familiar with the name. Are you more than familiar with his name? Are you familiar with his work?
I'm familiar with his report in this case, yes.
So you're familiar with his work if you're familiar with his report, correct?
Correct.
Were you given do you know that Mr. Whiffen has testified in this trial?
No, I do not.
And with regard to Mr. Whiffen's report, did you read it?
Yes, I did read his report.
And that would be of interest to you, correct? That's why you read it?
Correct.
Because Mr. Whiffen's report, and are we talking about Mr. Whiffen?
He's going to ask, did anyone ever tell you that 3 paramedics said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? Did you know that?
Whiffen's January 2025 report or his March 2025 report? Are you aware there's 2 of them?
No,
This guy hasn't been testifying more than a handful of times, so he could have flown under the radar.
Not.
Do you know which one you're referring to?
That would be the January report.
So the January 2025 report. Are you aware that there's just a couple minor differences between the 2 reports, or you're just not aware?
I'm not aware of either way.
Assume there's very minor differences with the reports. Mr. Whiffen's reports contain information and some detailed, and they're long reports, right?
Yes, they are.
So Mr. Whiffen's report contains information about the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the location data in Mr. O'Keefe's phone, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the phone calls in Mr. O'Keefe's report, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the temperature of the battery in the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe, right?
Correct.
It has some timelines in that report, correct?
Correct.
And those timelines have very specific events that are represented in the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone, correct?
Correct.
As a matter of fact, it's got location data and times that you have used in your report and PowerPoint presentation here, correct?
Correct.
When did you receive the report of Mr. Whiffen with regard to the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
So I would have received his report sometime in January.
I know this guy is blowing your ear holes out, but I really want to hear what Alessi is saying. And I think he's standing by Miss Little getting notes.
So,
I can take it down a notch.
4 months ago, you had the report of Mr. Whiffen with substantial information about the types of databases you can find in the iPhone, location data, health data, phone calls, and a timeline, among other information, correct?
Correct.
You had all that information.
Correct.
And you had GPS location data in that report regarding Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
You know what an SQLite database is.
SQLite? Yes.
SQLite database.
Yes.
And an SQLite database is one of the many databases that are contained within an iPhone, including Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And you testified on your direct that you have general knowledge about cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And you say you've got certifications with regard to cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And your certifications include being able to read, Celebrite, and apply the Celebrite tool, correct?
Correct.
And you have certifications that allow you to apply and utilize magnet forensics, like, for example, their Axiom program, correct?
Correct.
And you've done that in your career. You've applied those tools before this case, correct?
Correct.
And you've applied those tools after your work in this case. You apply them pretty much frequently, correct?
Correct.
So the tools, the databases in an iPhone, and all the location data, etc., that was all information you had and you knew and had FASL with back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
And you had access to the SQLite database because you had Mr. Whiffin's report, correct?
Correct. I had the report. Yes.
You had the report. Do you recall on your direct testimony saying that one of the reasons that you did this supplemental report on May 8th was you got new information or more information about Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone?
Yes. Correct.
You had that information through Mr. Whiffin's report back in January of 2025, didn't you, sir?
Correct. I had the report. I did not have the data.
Well, didn't Mr. Whiffin's report discuss location in a pretty detailed manner?
Yes, it did.
And didn't he use GPS location data in that report?
Yes, he did.
And you had that in January 4 months ago, correct?
Correct.
And you read it 4 months ago.
Correct.
Yet you still submitted a report on May 8th in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
Are you
He's having a
familiar
bad day,
with a digital forensic analyst named Jessica Hyde?
I am familiar with the name. Yes.
Yeah,
You
they
know
like
she's
each other's
working on
post
this
all the
case on
time.
behalf of the Commonwealth.
Yes, I think I have heard that in conversations.
Have you read any of her reports?
No, I have not.
So you're aware she's working on the case, but you're not aware of whether she's issued reports in this case.
Correct.
So you're not aware whether she has issued reports that mention about GPS location data, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever ask for her reports?
No, I did not.
Did anybody ever tell you or comment to you whether your analysis is consistent or inconsistent with the reports of Mr. Whiffin or Ms. Hyde?
No.
Did you watch their testimony in this trial?
No, I did not.
Did you learn of their testimony in this trial?
No, I did not.
Did anyone from law enforcement or any other aspect of the Commonwealth provide you with any summary of their testimony?
No, they did not.
But you had access to Mr. Whiffin's report with regard to his analysis and the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
If any of you don't know, Hyde was the one with the
Turban.
Jewish turban. It is a Jewish turban. She's a member of the
know.
court in a temple, so that's why she
I'm
wears
calling
it.
it a turban. I don't know if it's really a turban, but that's what I'm calling it.
It looks like a turban. But if you go on Twitter, you will see a lot of people who have found screenshots where they are talking to each other and liking each other's posts on social media.
Oh no. And I bet that's what he's going to bring up next.
Hopefully.
Brain bandage. That's funny.
Having read Mr. Whiffin's January 2025 report,
Purchase and bites.
you know that his report contains statements about movement and other activity of Mr. O'Keefe's phone after your time period in your original report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
No, not after the time period. No.
Let's take a look at that.
Sure.
That it is.
Let's take a look at your January 30th, 2025 report. Well, Well, we'll come back to that. I'll do that in an order that makes a little bit more logical sense. You've mentioned, and just to cover the foundational parts, that you're not the only employee of Aperture that's been hired to testify as a witness on behalf of the Commonwealth in this trial, correct?
Correct.
Your colleague, Judson Welcher, Dr. Judson Welcher, has also been retained by the Commonwealth through Aperture, correct?
That is correct.
Justin Welcher, Dr. Welcher, is a biomechanical engineer, correct?
Correct.
Do you know whether Dr. Welcher holds any professional certifications?
I do not know.
Does Dr. Welcher's expertise extend beyond your own?
It is a different discipline than my own, yes.
So it's a different discipline. So it could be horizontally extended, and it also can be vertically extended depending upon the subject matter?
Sure.
That's a fair statement?
Sure.
Your colleague, Dr. Welcher, who is an engineer, did opine on the timing of the tech stream event 1162-2 in his report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
Objection.
The objection sustained.
I'll reword it, Your Honor. Do you know whether Dr. Welcher opined on the timing of tech stream event 1162-2 in his January 30th, 2025 report?
Yes.
So you do know.
Yes.
What is the timing of the tech stream event 1162-2 in the January 30th report of Dr. Welcher, your?
Nina, after this morning and what, if any, questions from Lally, this is like sweet nectar poured into my open mouth by a busty, perky goddess.
Colleague.
So why don't I see you with sidearms?
Sidebar, sidebar.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Burgess. You're aware that Dr. Welcher created a PowerPoint presentation with regard to his work in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever discuss that work with Dr. Welcher that he was doing?
No, I did not.
Did you ever review any of his work at any point, including up to the point where you're sitting on the stand today?
I have reviewed the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's presentation.
Okay. In the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's report include, those slides you're referring to are the slides of Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Correct.
And the slides that are in Mr. DeSogra's report about Dr. Welcher that slide discusses the 1162
Boobs are like pizza. Even when they're bad, they're still good.
tech stream event, correct?
Correct.
So you have looked at, albeit through Mr. DeSogra, you have looked at the slide that Dr. Welcher had in his report regarding the tech stream event 1162-2, correct?
Correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I don't know if he is, but Brendan's paralegal,
The next exhibit for identification, Your Honor?
Yes.
not know what I mean, is looking really constipated today.
Thank you. May I present it to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. May I remain here for a few questions?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burgess, if
Yes.
you could take a look at what has been marked for identification is AAA, and tell me, once you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, whether you recognize that slide.
Yes, I do recognize that slide.
And sir, what do you recognize that slide as?
So it is a slide that states a number of times associated with tech stream event 1162-2, which would be the second event.
And did you consider this exhibit AAA in your preparation of a response to Mr. DeSogra's March 5th, 2025 presentation?
Yes, I did.
I offer this into evidence, Your Honor, AAA for identification.
Okay.
I'd like to put the whole report in.
Your Honor, I have no need to put the report's 143 pages.
So I'm going to let this in, and I haven't decided yet about the whole 143 pages. Okay.
Fair enough, Your Honor. And I re-offer it into evidence, Your Honor.
Yes. 188.
Could someone provide me with that 143 page
Should
today,
have.
please?
Should have had a voir dire
Is that what you
back.
asked for?
For a copy for me of that 143 pages.
If she puts
Before we
that whole
leave today.
report in
Before we
there,
leave, we'll get it,
she,
Your Honor.
Thank you.
One way or
she
another.
better put the whole documentary in that he's playing all those clips from. If this whole report goes in, there's no reason that that whole documentary shouldn't go into evidence.
No, I think actually she's fair when she says I don't know if I'm going to allow all of it in. Just take the pages.
Thank you.
Yes.
You can, please.
Hold on, was it marked?
It's 188.
What number?
188.
Thank you.
May I present it back to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
That was a little weird interaction. Bev asked for the number, unless he said the number. Bev looked at their court reporter, unless he handed her the.
So you now have what is in evidence as Exhibit 188 for identification. I draw your attention, and this is the slide that you considered in responding to Mr. DeSogra, correct?
In response to Mr. DeSogra's analysis of this slide, yes, correct.
And this slide, to be clear, is a slide prepared by your colleague at Aperture, Dr. Judson Welcher, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Sir, could you please read the time that Dr. Welcher states for the when infotainment trigger 1162.2 occurred?
So that would be text stream trigger, just for clarification, but yes, I can.
Well, let's go to that. You use the parlance text stream trigger. Dr. Welcher uses infotainment trigger, but it's 1162.2. You both use 1162.2, correct?
Correct. And I think that may be a misunderstanding of how he's worded it.
Well, Your Honor, I'd actually move to strike that about what Dr. Welcher, I'm just going to what the document says.
I'm just going to leave it, but go on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the document says that the infotainment trigger 1162.2 occurred at approximately 12:31:38, correct?
Correct.
And that it ended at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
So we've got the trigger, according to Dr. Welcher, as of recently as January 30th, 2025, starting at 12:31:38 and ending at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct. According to the Lexus clock.
Right.
Yes.
So now let's go down to what says below. Per report from Ian Whiffen, O'Keefe's cell phone data showed, quote, most notably, all device lock events, including the final lock event at 12:32:09, were user initiated by the user pressing the side button briefly. You see that, sir?
I do.
And did I read that correctly?
You did, with the caveat that's according to the iPhone clock.
Right. But in any event, that's what Dr. Welcher states on his slide, correct?
Correct.
Do you know, sir, that the iPhone data reported by Mr. Whiffen that you read, that Dr. Welcher references, do you know that report of Ian Whiffen says there was an end of a health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43?
Yes.
And you know that?
Yes, with the caveat those clocks have not been adjusted.
But you know that there was a end of health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
Just stating the comparison. So now what I'd like to do is to move on with regard to the analysis. So in Dr. Welcher wrote this. The slide he presented is dated January 30th of 2025, correct?
It's not dated here.
It's
but,
not dated.
but yes.
Do you know that Dr. Welcher created a report of January 30th, 2025?
I do know he created a report. Correct.
Right, and that's the same date as your report, correct? Your
Correct.
first report.
Correct.
So you both submitted your reports on the same date. They're both dated the same at least, correct?
Yes, if they're both dated the same, yes.
Yes. Are you familiar with the concept of pocket state in iPhones?
I am familiar through Mr. Whiffen's report.
Okay. You said you've read Mr. Whiffen's report, correct?
Correct.
So you know that Mr. Whiffen states that there was a pocket state detected on the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe at 12:33:14, correct?
Objection.
So the same, I'm going to strike it, the Just do it the same way, Mr. Alessi, okay?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you. Are you aware of whether Mr. Whiffen has put in the report you read a timestamp for detecting pocket states of Mr. O'Keefe? Are you aware of that in the report at all?
I am aware of that in the report, yes.
Do you know when Mr. Whiffen has noted a pocket state detected of Mr. O'Keefe's phone? Do you know?
So, Mr. Alessi, why don't you show it to me?
That's what I was going to do. I will, Your Honor. And if we could put it, we've got it, that's already in evidence on screen. It's
Yeah,
already in
get it
evidence
on
in-
screen.
So are you talking about Mr. Whiffen's report or?
Correct. Well, you know what? I'm going to show him the report, Your Honor. I'll do it the way you suggested.
Boom, boom, boom.
Sir,
9
do you
minutes
recall
left
the
of the day.
specific time that Mr. Whiffen has stated pocket states detected for the phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
No, I have not.
If I showed you a report of Mr. Whiffen, might that refresh your recollection as to when Mr. Whiffen has stated pocket state detected? Would that
Yeah.
help?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir, I'm going to endeavor to do that. If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I have it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, there's nothing left in that water bottle.
He's going to be licking the lid before we're done.
I hope Lolly shares his pack of Pall Malls with him.
I have it, Your Honor, if I could have a moment.
I feel so embarrassed that I could be sympathy smoking for this guy because, oh my God,
This
he
was
is
rough.
being. Normally, I'd say if you want to do this to me, at least have the courtesy to just spit a little bit for lubrication. That was a good one, and Valhalla didn't even listen.
I was distracted. I'm sorry. What was it? What did you say?
No, it's nothing. It doesn't work
Too
the
late
second
now.
time.
I ruined it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your joke. My bad, bro. My bad.
I'm glad someone else does it to him. other than-
Oh, Jamie's still here. Hey, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Mhm.
I'm just typing, so I have to mute. I heard it. I laughed out loud, but I was muted.
Yep, a little spit, please. Yes, this is a cross-examination of the witness.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, Bev didn't want to have a voir dire away from the jury to maybe discuss some of these things.
What is it you say about blessing comes in all kinds of disguises?
The Lord works
Yeah.
in mysterious ways.
God has a great sense of humor.
Yeah, Bev is about to end. Yeah, it's 6 to 4. So yeah,
Got an agreement of sorts with Mr. Brennan. Could I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
an agreement of sorts.
Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what are 2 pages out of the report of Mr. Whiffen that you referenced, and we've been discussing about pocket state.
Sure.
And this one here, if you just read this line, because it's the heading, and then the next page, and tell me,
Check your
sir,
watch.
with reference to this
Well, it's
entry
almost 4
right
o'clock.
here, if that refreshes your recollection with regard to a column of pocket state with regard to the phone of Mr. and whether it refreshes your recollection on any comments Mr. Whiffen made about pocket state.
Objection.
I'm going to see you sidebar for 2 minutes on this.
Okay.
For 2 minutes, you don't need 2 minutes sidebar.
Only 2 minutes, she says.
Why did they?
I say,
Why did?
Social media use, we will see. Anyway, so for the same cautions, please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard it. Let us know, and please be careful with your social media use. We will see you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.
All right.
So
She really
what's
can't
the-
stand to say 1 second over time at all.
No, but if they're going into a long diatribe, we would be yelling at her for cutting Alessi off. It's a good point to cut it off
Good
before he
stopping
gets
point.
into the reports. I'm just, I don't know, if maybe come back and, yeah.
Well, that was eventful, huh?
Yeah.
When we started this morning with 2 DNA analysts, analysts, who was absolutely horrendous. I thought, this on a Monday, I can't do this on a Monday. And then
It perked up a little bit.
it got a little more interesting. So what do we know now? We know that Crown witness for the defense. This is the guy who should really set up Dr. Welcher's report. Dr. Welcher, who will be the most damning expert, couldn't go on without this guy going first, because everything is put on his expertise. And he made up a timestamp. We know that Brennan was contacted a day before he claims he's out of the blue just got sent a report that he didn't know nothing about. So he lied again to court. That's why I was kind of hoping I could see if anything was going on, but it doesn't look like. I thought that there would be maybe a little after show something, but nothing's happening. But we know he lied about that.
Really good.
We know this guy just out of the blue thought, hey, let me read a report, and just not because the case have started, not because I've seen how badly it's going, not because it's going to really destroy Welch's report, but let me just make a new report because I had a typo, and let me just kind of imply that it was ordered by Brennan, and then make up a lie about how I copy paste all of my emails. How I've seen the antis. Well, is it important what his picture is on LinkedIn too? They are coping so hard. This was, if this hasn't been a courtroom, someone would be charged with assault.
Yeah.
I found
Wow.
that his cross today was like one of the best. I don't know, like, did anybody notice that? Because you know how we've said he's been wobbly a little bit, but he was fired up with this guy today.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, every second of it.
I think he took it personally when they attacked his experts, because he's an expert lawyer. And thank you, Stacey LeBruno. Wow, in with a whimper, out with a bang. One pump jump.
I just feel like Leslie was ready to fight, but he does it in such a kind way.
Alessi is always ready to fight, Jamie.
Yep.
Always.
He is, but he does it in such a nice way. I'm just gonna rip you a new butthole very gently.
Yeah, and I would have expected. That's why I tried to hang on and see if there's anything going on. I would have expected the defense to raise it and say, "Hey, Your Honor, we have his testimony that Brennan knew. So what he stated in court last Thursday was wrong."
Yeah.
And I think she knows, because she got really loose with the objections in the end. She was nope, ask it a different way. I'll allow it if you ask it differently. She knows that Brennan lied to her.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if there was not some discussion.
Burgess may be encouraged to lie for insurance companies that hire him. He might be, but if he does that, he's liable, and he can be sued to all hell. No, we are still on cross, but because we end at 4:00, so we will start up again tomorrow at 9. I think we'll start tomorrow with a sidebar.
The tuft of disgrace. That's funny.
Would that cause a mistrial? No, it won't.
Not in this court. Not in this courtroom.
I don't think that's cause for one anyway. Like in that sense, it's not going to be.
Not only lied, but definitely had his dirty hands all over this. Exactly.
The tuft of disgrace. I like it.
And the thing about the mistrial is you have to understand, like, unless she, what is it, with prejudice, they're gonna come after her again. So let's just keep going.
What is Marissa asking?
I wouldn't even want a mistrial at this point because they are looking good.
No, but at this point, there isn't even there is no way at this point that the jury can reach a verdict of guilty. That just isn't.
Not from what I've seen. No way.
And the worst part is we know in the light most favorable to the state, but at this point she should do the same as they did in the Baldwin trial. Said, your expert lied. You lied.
Yeah.
This is a dismissal with prejudice. Hasta
Actually,
la
You would hope.
Isn't
but I
that
don't think
isn't
she's
that
gonna stand
how
up for it.
isn't that how the Alec Baldwin case got dismissed? Actually,
Yeah.
This exact
Yes.
situation.
because the
Well, yeah,
prosecutor brought false information.
Weird.
Yeah, and then tried to kind of fob it off as, oh, you know what, the bullets
Fires,
were all
Mommy.
mixed up.
Oh yeah, they didn't think it was important or something like
Yeah.
that. It's just like,
I think after Baker shuts this thing down, I'll take a peek at Ricadas. I'm sure he's having a field day too. I think Ricadas, is he done yet? I think he normally goes out. He gets more super chats than me, so he has to stick around and read. That's the grifting of the day. Oh, I forgot. I have to, because I'm watching my good friend Twisted Tragedies a lot, and I have to learn from her. So
why do you wanna torture
everyone,
yourself?
I'm really. If you want this to continue, the channel is really struggling, and StreamYard, it's only I can only stream 20 hours a month on the plan I have. So you have to. I only survive by contribution. So I'm really struggling. Hey, by the way, you can go and buy stuff for my daughter that I'm too lazy to get a job and buy myself. I have a wish list on Amazon. There's things we need as well, paper towels and stuff like that. But you can buy her a pink princess thing. But the channel's really struggling, y'all. So because I can't pay for the StreamYard. The StreamYard is $25 a month. You stupid C word.
No, it's not. It's now $88 a month, at least for some of the plans with more people.
You should lower your plan if you're paying $80 a month for StreamYard. There's no reason.
I
was on that, right? I was doing the expensive one that let me stream in 1080, and then I realized that was stupid, and I should only pay. Like,
I'll probably change it down back to it. I'm not smart about these things. And thank you, Nicholas, for your super chat. And he said, motion to rename Burgess the Tuft of Disgrace. I'll allow it, Mr. Yannetti, but keep your comments to yourself.
I like it. I approve.
I do too.
man, oh man.
What the hell am I? Which one do I have?
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the $32 a month plan because I bill yearly.
Oh, well.
Right? No. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. If you are on the 65, you get 4K streaming. Why would you do that? An extra camera. Just
Look, I thought the Ks were important. Look, you can sell me just about any damn thing if you put weird gobbledygook from a computer in it, because I'm just going to assume you know what you're talking about.
Well, Mo, have I told you about my have I told you about my pelletized goat facial cream yet?
No, and no. Have you heard about my for-profit charity, Mo's House? 100% of your
Well, I wanna know
contributions
about
go to
it.
Mo's House.
So who was it trying to convince me to do this?
I think it was the
Was it Zach?
expert. No,
Could have
wait.
been. Could have been expert.
I
Could have
mean,
been
the new
Brandon,
thing
too.
is
I
to
don't
put
remember.
salmon sperm on your face, so you could make a killing out of it. It's some kind of beauty product. I think it's a Korean beauty product, and it's supposed to be made with salmon sperm. It's supposed to be very anti-aging.
Who was the first person that figured it out, and why were they milking a salmon?
I think I've seen it all over TikTok.
Ladies, don't put
Jamie,
sperm on your face.
Jamie, I
Don't do
love you,
that.
but you are a 15-year-old girl. I've seen it on TikTok. It's the same with all the girls doing
I get a
donkey
lot
kicks
of-
in the gym. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't glow your glute. Go do something heavy. Yeah, but I saw it on TikTok. It doesn't
I
work.
get-
Shut up. Move some weight. You can go to
Baker, you should
Valhalla's
try
and
it.
just. No, you should try it. Go to Valhalla's and rub your face in goat droppings. Maybe. Well, it worked back in the old Egyptian time. Yeah, and they put arsenic on their face as well. Top dollar. I saw it on TikTok. Jesus Christ.
Yes, and before this, the biggest thing was the
Jamie
snail
didn't say
mucus.
she milked
So don't
her
even
own
get me
salmon.
started on these things that people
Snail
are.
mucus?
Yes.
Yes, it's supposed to be
Jamie.
very hydrating.
If you
See,
would like sperm on your face, Jamie, I'm sure there's easier ways
I
than milking a
don't
salmon.
want. I'm not saying I use it. I just said it's a thing. So
Again,
your goat endeavors could be something. People would be
It
like,
could be.
"Oh my god."
Could be. Till they all started getting, barnyard diseases and parasitic
diphtheria.
worms.
Just saying, it's a thing. I'll find it, and I'm gonna send it to you, and you're gonna
Get it, Ashley.
You're gonna know.
A pitcher
This
of
is-
beer in 20 minutes in your local bar, take care of that problem for you.
Yeah. You will it'll that's the good thing about being a woman. You can get that facial every day. Just go to a bar.
Every
No,
Yes, you can.
you're gonna be highly selective of your facials. Come on, go out there and just anybody.
Salmon
Anybody?
doesn't sound like you're being highly selective. That's all.
No,
I'm
but
saying
because
here.
she only takes the nice looking salmons, the one with a little mustache and a nice comb over. What
Dollywood.
I'm gonna find it because I'm pretty
Dollywood.
sure one of the big beauty people was doing it. That's where I saw it from, and I could have swore that one of the Kardashians would use the same thing. So
Well,
I'm
of
gonna
course
find it.
Kardashians don't mind getting facials. They're pretty much
They
their
have
bread and
had
butter
worse
at
on
this
their
point.
face. I've seen the video.
What's the
Hollywood is May 5th.
Yes, 4th, 5th, and
What's
6th. We'll be doing events.
No,
the
Dollywood will be
over-under
May
that
5th.
Burgess
The
runs
5th
away?
is the park. The 6th is the live FNL, and Wednesday, the 4th, we'll be doing some sort of a meetup.
But yeah, back to what I was talking about before Jamie went smexual.
No, I don't even remember where it came. Oh, it's because Val said something about his goats. Okay, anyways.
But no, I just love all these aunties who are sitting there complaining. They're worse than some. I think they went to the DSP school of begging because my channel don't work. If you don't have $33 to get the StreamYard, you can just use YouTube Studio. You don't need to have StreamYard. StreamYard is because we are multi-streaming.
Yes.
We don't need it.
Yeah.
But I just did they think, oh, I'm going to turn on my camera and I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be Emily D. Baker because I used to be not a former prosecutor like her, but a former
Defendant.
female entertainer in the pole business.
Ooh.
Yeah, people are going to sit over here. Yeah. Oh, this is stupid. But Who? Whole chat calling Baker a dumb. What? Who's calling me a
You said
dumbass?
May instead of June. So had it been
I
in
said
May,
May because I was hoping it was already passed because I can't wait anymore. It hurts my stomach, and my stomach is big, and I miss Valhalla so much, so that's why. Yeah.
Very soon, buddy. Very soon.
No, we're still on cross tomorrow. OBS is free and multi-streams as well. Use it for my church every Sunday. The only problem is OBS is really hard to figure out,
yeah, I'm
especially
a little
when you have
not
guests on.
good at all.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I'm not a fan. StreamYard is okay. And again, we are blessed people. We can pay off most of our bills, but what we have from income, it's just I just don't get all these crying, whining aunties because it's pay me. No, thank you for watching us. There
Well,
has been over 300 people watching us continuously today on our platforms, and we love each and every one of you. And we try to not do the you have to pay me $20 to get a question read. We'll try and read as many questions, comment on as many things. Yes, I know, Mark, we stop a lot, but we always catch up. There's a lot of sidebars. So that's part of the entertaining that we do. And thank you all so much for choosing us. I know a few of Melanie's cupcakes has been choosing us today. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will give us a chance again next time Melanie is taking a break from the YouTube. I can't remember what she said she had to do today, but thank you for choosing us. We love you here, and we are just happy that anyone wants to watch us. That constant begging is just it's becoming too much, and I think a lot of tubers are just thinking, if I don't get money, I don't want to stream. Well, don't stream, because if you do this for money, you're gonna die a sad soul, because you have to sit here for 8 hours talking about how Jamie takes her jizz facials.
Oh my God.
And try and be a little bit entertaining. But we love you all, and we thank you so much for choosing us to be your guides through the wonderful world of Karen Reed.
Yes. Hey, you guys, it's Mo. If you need something to watch before the trials every day, I do mornings with Mo, headlines, true crimes, and the absurd, and Lord Chippy too. So it's about 45 minutes.
How about just facials tomorrow?
Oh my God.
I will
I'm finding that product.
Is it called Sam? Like how do you
No, I don't even think it's like remotely the name of anything like that. So that's why I was thrown off when they were like, it's
they're not going to tell you it's salmon sperm.
Well,
I'm just trying to figure out
what the name of it is so I don't buy it
I will.
on accident.
I'm going to find it, Mo, and I'll give you a heads up.
Thank you.
I got nothing on the salmon sperm facials.
Oh my Lord.
But I do have goats, and I stream those sometimes. Do goat walks. We do nursery streams that are coming fewer because we're running out of babies. But we have one baby. We have one mama that's still pregnant. So whenever she has her babies, we'll set up the nursing stall 24 hours again. In the meantime, I'm doing goat walks occasionally. We're doing the Karen Reed trial. You will find the occasional paint stream and Lego interview stream on my channel. So come check me out if you haven't.
Yay.
And let's just hang out for a bit and see if his bio is really down, because I just asked the mods if they could check if his bio is down. That could be really fun if his bio...
That would be fun. Island was saying that she looked
not having a good day.
Island was saying that she looked at Aperture, and every one of their job listings required a bachelor's degree. So that would be interesting if Aperture just found out today. That would be interesting.
That's
still there, Marissa says.
Marissa says it's still there.
Oh. Well, thanks for ruining a good little thing, Marissa.
She's just
Dang it,
helping
Marissa.
out.
Dang.
No fun, Marissa.
Oh my lord.
I'm just saying.
She wouldn't know what to do with a salmon sperm facial if she got one.
If
I
that
don't know
was,
if I
if
would
that's
know what
what
to do
Jen
with it.
uses, then I'm out. I am all the way out. If that's what Jen uses.
Yes,
Snail
his
mucus,
bio
snail
does
sperm.
say not for expert designation as the only bio on Aperture's website. I saw that people were starting to share that, and it didn't have that on it. Well, it's been there since Friday, Marissa says. So why his bio on Aperture's website isn't for expert designation, I don't understand why. We are talking about the witness who was on the stand, Mr.
Shannon Burgess.
Shannon with one N.
Except there's two N's in it. It's just
but it's, and I didn't,
right.
And I was thinking, why is he hammering down on one N? Did he spell it wrong in his CV at some point?
Just
thank you, Jojo, for giving me spa money. They will be used for my potential future house purchase because it was so nice. I spent the weekend with Baby Baker. Well, I spent Saturday with Baby Baker. Oh, he likes me.
Aww.
And he's almost breaking the how to crawl code right now.
Almost.
Yeah, he can do the kind of, if you hold his feet, he can kind of push himself forward. He can't get his fat ass up in the air, so and I can say it, I have a fat ass.
He's getting there.
Before you know it, he'll be running circles around you, and then it'll be sad.
Yeah. The Autumn Sky has debunked your salmon sperm nonsense, Jamie. Listen to this. The polynucleotides aren't sperm in the literal sense. It's processed and purified to extract the DNA, which is then broken down into polynucleotides. These are the active components used.
Mm-hmm.
It still
I'm gonna be honest.
comes
It still
from salmon
sounds,
swimmers.
yeah, it still sounds like salmon.
That's like saying,
Not gonna lie.
well, salmon is from a pork.
I'm not saying they just like, a salmon just jizz in a bottle and you just slap it in your face. I was saying I'm sure they purified it at some point.
Why use the bottle? Why not just go straight from the fish to the face? Why even bother with the bottle at that point?
Idea. Why did you have this idea? How much gummies were you on, and can I have some?
I don't know. Somebody had to test it out and do some kind of trial to see if it actually. Oh, look at it! It got rid of a wrinkle.
Okay, all I'm thinking is a guy at a caviar factory was milking a salmon. It got on his face and he looked a lot younger, and people are like,
yeah, and everybody's like, what did you use? He's like, oh.
Not one guy has ever done that. I can attest to that because no guy who worked on a salmon factory have ever thought, I wish I had less wrinkles. He probably thought, what the hell are these weird women talking about? I've had my hands covered in salmon future kids for the last 70 years, and they look, these women are weird. It's the same women who says, well, I drink 18 sodas a day because mama said if you eat something with sugar and drink a diet soda, it equals it out.
That does math.
If this product doesn't have a spokesperson yet, I vote Caitlyn Jenner. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that. That's my vote. I think it'd be a great spokesperson.
Wait, though, we need Zach in this talk about fish facials. I mean,
he has been awful quiet since we started talking about salmon sperm.
And he's like, "Hey, listen, guys, I use it every day."
Oh, good.
Heather May, that's why I'm thinking about seeing if I can buy a house up there so I can get even more time with that little boy. Because it's one thing when it's kids of your own and they have to come every other weekend, but when it's grandchildren, it's something else. Aww. But everyone, time to get out of here. Please, the links to the other people are in my channel. Please go show them a little bit of love. And if you are already showing them love, also tickle the thumb. It'll make them smile ever so slightly. Come back tomorrow at about 9, where we will continue what has been a destruction of an expert in a way that even the destruction of Bukkake, which Jamie apparently likes with salmons,
Oh my lord.
even that destruction wasn't that bad. Jamie, don't think everything you see online is true.
Yes, I did examine his lower extremities. That is protocol in any case of suspected impact with a motor vehicle. So I did examine his legs, and I did not see any evidence of an impact site.
Just pin it on the girl, right?